Hello? Hi, did I do it? Are we live?
Hi.
11th time's the charm. Welcome everybody to the 11th Momentum Mod Developer Q&A. I'm back. I'm Goknak. Oh, that rhymes. I didn't mean to do that. I am the lead dev and development lead of Momentum Mod, here to answer some beautiful questions that you've asked us in our Discord, which, by the way, if you haven't, please join our Discord. We're partnered now. we got all the wonderful partner perks, such as higher quality voice, I think. But yeah, we take all of your questions asked in the Q&A live channel. Q&A live questions and investigations, I guess. But yeah, I am joined with some of my wonderful teammates here. You guys can go down the Discord list, introduce yourselves, and we'll get going.
It's gonna be weird.
Yeah,
Is
you're
that
first.
me?
You're first.
I'm first.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Bray. I do programming.
You can do a lot of programming. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of programming.
I'm False. I do a lot of the 3D artwork, and I'm also the campaign lead for Joe when that gets going on.
And
Hi.
also my boyfriend.
And we're together this Q&A. Which is really cool.
That's why, yeah, hence the large name tag. Or you can go by the formal name,
Why
Brawls.
was-
We're not brawls. That's terrible.
Hi, I'm Tom. Wait, no, ABC FG. Yeah, okay. I'm Tom. I do web design, and now I'm UI design, and now I'm trying to do web design because, yeah,
Tom does everything
I do
in the
everything.
game. Pretty much.
I'm like a octopus or some kind of
Top of all trades.
Yeah.
yeah.
Where he wears multiple hats.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm Zofa.
Hello.
I'm the production designer. I work with the artists and try to delegate things for the campaign.
Heck yeah. I think that's everyone. Did anyone sneak in? No. All right, cool. So we'll go ahead and get started with the first question.
First question is by, I'm just going to pronounce it as Bell. bbell.
bbell.
How
Yeah.
in depth will the cosmetic system work, and are player models going to be available or just hats?
Yeah.
Right on.
I guess I could talk about that.
Yeah.
So cosmetics will for 1.0 we're aiming just to have like base items, but later on we'll have a more in-depth cosmetic where you can have basically just like sort of like how TFT does it, where you can just have like get equip clothes, or not really clothes, but just like different pieces of things and hats and stuff, and maybe helmets, and we'll probably have like skins for weapons or different weapons that you could use as well, just like different models. And we'll also have, I think, like profile cosmetics, so things, special banners, and maybe different like particles, different rockets, or just projectiles and stuff like that. Really, you could adjust like pretty much anything, and offer that as a cosmetic. It also, we want to open up cosmetics to like the Steam Workshop,
Yeah.
so people can just make whatever they want, and we may bring some of the good looking things into the game officially, and I think that would be really good. Just have like a type of community based cosmetic system, because there's no way we have it for very small.
You can just model it all.
Yeah.
So opening it up to the team, or not to the team, to the community would be really cool.
Right.
Because it's entirely like, it's really fitting, right? Because heavily
This is a
community
volunteer
based.
project, and yeah.
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 The
thing,
team is
so-
the community.
Yeah, essentially, right? So, yeah. It won't just be player models. I'm hoping in the future we have like different styles of player models. Like that's the goal. Just to allow you to personify yourself more.
Yeah.
With your character, with more cosmetics and things like that. But yeah.
Yeah. As for the technical side, recapping, we're going to have two systems, right? The rank points system for kind of based on your times, but the other side, the cosmetic XP and leveling system. When you play the game and beat maps, beat PBs, win races, perform in races, beat challenges, complete milestones, we'll be giving you cosmetic XP, which goes towards a level. That cosmetic XP directly translates into units, our channel points on Twitch, as well as in our Discord, the emoji. That is going to be the currency. The way that the cosmetic store will work is it is a store, and you exchange these units that you earn purely through in-game for items in the store. And so you unlock it permanently. When you unlock an item, you always have it. The idea is that with all of these modes coming together under a centralized platform, this is how you express yourself in multiple modes, right? So it's the way that cosmetics work, or what is a cosmetic, we've answered quite a couple of times before on the Q&A stream, but it's it's not just like a skin, right? Like we're not going to just cheap out and just do a skin. We'd like to do full-on models, full-on, like packs, themed related things like, hedgehog stickies or something like that, where we could have like a nature pack and you can get like a bunch of different stuff like that, where you get hedgehog stickies or hedgehog conks or something like that. So just things of that nature. Absolutely workshop. Yes, we'd love to have workshop support for the community to be able to create and submit all of their like wonderful ideas to us. We'd like to incorporate them officially into the game if they're high enough quality for that and speaks to us. So yeah, absolutely. The expression that you get in Momentum should absolutely be more than just one or two things. But on that same note, right, we don't want to have cosmetics that are like only on your computer, right? If that makes sense, where it's like, oh, like a custom like main menu background or something isn't as valuable because nobody else can see it unless you stream, maybe. But even then, we'll have enough customization in like our HUD and stuff like that to allow you to customize whatever you want, right? You can have a custom loading screen every single time if you'd like. But so the cosmetic system hopefully is something that a lot of players will enjoy. There's going to be no random aspects, no loot boxes, nothing like that. You get everything based on you can save up, you can see something you like, save up, and work towards it. And then yes, just like TF2s, it'll be kind of just like you can see like what you have equip different things for different weapons and different game modes and stuff, right? So yep. Pretty much nailed it there. Any other input for this question? All right. Thank you, Bell, or bbell. We'll move on.
I like this next question. I might not pronounce the username correctly. NotEagle,
NotEagle, I think is
NotEagle. Okay. Will there be any PvP-based game modes like Deathrun, hide and seek, or tag?
Oh,
no.
P2P, peer-to-peer multiplayer can't really reliably support that kind of thing.
Yes. Keep in mind, peer-to-peer can support it, but it gets a little weird because somebody is the host. When it comes to the way that we're doing multiplayer specifically, and you'll see some of this after all these questions, we'll be playing in a lobby, so you'll see it. The way that we do multiplayer isn't necessarily synchronized. We just network things as we get it. This leads to a much more enjoyable multiplayer experience of when you're surfing or bunny hopping, you don't have any like ping. It's not like your movement is dependent on how good your connection is to a server or somebody else. It's just zero ping because it's just you get network data when you get it, and so you can see other people, and it might be a little bit delayed or a lot a bit delayed, but for the most part we're not synchronizing you with the other person. With the peer-to-peer the PvP modes, there's not. I mean, while it is interesting, when looked at the whole scope of the game, we're focusing on speedrunning. So specifically setting times, like a mode where it's time attack, right? Deathrun, not really time attack. I mean, sort of could be if you time how long it takes for you to get through the course. hide and seek is just straight up like just tag, right? Which is also there. So like, or combat surf, for example, is surfing, but the goal is to kill each other. So there's just a time limit. There's not, you don't really go for time or beating a map. So the whole like idea of the project isn't like everything about every movement mode ever. It's speedrunning focused on these specific modes that are absolutely speedrunning focused. And then some derivatives of them, like tricksurf and things like that, where there's still a timer, you're still time attacking, but it's maybe a different way to approach it, or like utilize the map. So hopefully that helps explain it. The other, I guess, third kind of nail in the coffin, or there's probably a ton more, but when you don't have anyone to play with, these modes die. That's the only problem with multiplayer modes. And then how do you not have somebody to, or how do you get people to play with each other? Matchmaking and all of that is just a little too far out of our reach of what we try to do with our multiplayer or competitive side of our multiplayer. So while we might be looking into kind of massive multiplayer competitiveness of things like a battle royale mode or something where you go through maps until you fail, things like that, where we can actually set up these kind of overarching like multiplayer events that happen. Tournaments are another one too. You can like compete in tournaments by just, like joining it and like playing the specific maps and setting specific times. We won't be looking more into the immediate multiplayer modes like these, mainly because of that, the way that our game is set up, the way that our project is scoped, and then also the fact that if you don't have anyone to play these with, or not enough, for example, Deathrun or Combat Surf, if you only have 3 people to play it with, sure, it's probably fun with some friends, but the moment that you don't, it's dead content, really.
It's also just worth being like very aware of. I think Momentum's going to do really pretty well, and probably better than sort of a lot of free-made games do. Like, but I think to assume that we can make a game and expect that you're going to have a system where you can have a consistent matchmaker that's going to be able to find people, that you can have enough people online for that consistently. I think for any project like this, I think whilst we might be able to do that, still for any project like this, that displays like a great deal of sort of hubris.
No.
Yeah. That.
And it does make me wish, I've said this before, but wish that Source 1 was open source so we could kind of do our own SDK and then people could make games on the engine that we've built out. But not a thing.
Yeah.
Sadly.
At least not anytime soon.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it is unfortunate because these modes, I've played Combat Surf a ton. In fact, I probably played it before I did Skill Surf. That's how I probably got into surfing. It's really fun when you have a lot of people to play it. Deathrun as well, but Deathrun kind of gets old. I don't know. It depends on the maps. Anyway, I've never played hide and seek, but I've seen some gameplay and it looks really neat. But again, it's just with the scope of our project and what we're trying to do, it just doesn't fit. Again, if we had a SDK maybe, and even if we did have like maybe a different mode of like multiplayer where it is allowed, it's like the upkeep of these servers too, right? You'll have to have like dedicated servers for those. And the way that we're doing is we're focusing purely on our web servers as our, because that's all we need for speedrunning, right? Like we don't need dedicated active multiplayer, synchronized state multiplayer servers. So sorry about that, but we do get this very commonly, but it is important to emphasize it.
We're not making Gary's mod 2.
Exactly. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
There are
that.
absolutely, yeah. There will be other games that could probably scoop up this segment of the of these modes, but yeah, it's just not our focus. If there's, we're still considering the the optional, so like not just Conc, we're looking at like quad rocket stuff, like we're looking at just different spin-off modes of the modes that we're like branching out into to see what's potential growth there of like new and exciting like ideas. Like we'll be doing that, but like when it comes to modes, it's basically it requires time attack and can be played with one person solo, right?
I also just think, just to emphasize in terms of a project like this, scope creep is a massive issue.
Yes.
And
It can be, yeah.
for us, having the 10 modes, which we've had sort of set in stone for the last sort of year and a half, 2
Yeah.
years now,
Yeah.
is immensely beneficial because it allows you to really, organize yourselves and to have, if you just have, random ideas flying around and not really knowing who's working on what and when it's going to get done, it's especially for a project like this where it's a volunteer project and you really need to have like a clear sort of game plan for what needs to get done when. Stuff like this is just it's not worth. It's just no. It's you have to be wary of just extra crap getting added on. It's going to just slow down development.
Yeah. Oh
So
God. Well, let's see if anybody gets that one. But oh yeah, it is flipped. So good luck, OCR bots. All right. Anyway, yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention earlier on, we're doing a different way of handing out keys this time. I figured the ones on screen are a little too easy for people with OCR. Screen.
I forgot to do it on the spreadsheet.
Yeah, screen. Yeah, and then yeah. So we're doing a couple of unique ways, mainly through chat. So rewarding the people that are here, but we'll also probably do a couple for the YouTube watchers as well.
We didn't just forget to put it in the slides.
Yeah, no, not so ever, not at all.
Not whatsoever.
Not at all. So anyway, was there any other input for NotEagle's question? All right. Thank you for the question, NotEagle. We'll move on to the next one.
I'm probably going to butcher this IGN. Dulce de Leche?
Yeah, Dulce de Leche. Yeah. Some Spanish. Let's go.
I knew I was going to get something off. Has there been any progress with the tricksurf game mode?
Hey, speaking of. Yeah, so I can take this one. So the initial implementation was all the way back in 0.8.6. That was kind of our scope expansion update of all of the modes that we wanted to try to support. No, there hasn't been any progress made since then, mainly because the main progress that we've been focusing on has been the user interface, converting basically the entire game over to our new Chaos engine that we're on, and that means converting all of our user interface over to Panorama. So in that update, we have the stub for it, but we haven't started work on it, or like focusing work on it. We will absolutely have tricksurf by 1.0. That is, it is a pre 1.0 plan mode. It is currently just not prioritized. So hopefully that makes sense. It will be picked up soon. Again, the roadmap priority for those that haven't watched the old Q&As or anything, the 0.9.1 update is to get us all the way onto Panorama. We're very close. We have a couple more key HUD panels that we're getting in. And then the 0.9.2 update's kind of a bunch of fixes related to UI, maybe some bugs. We're actually scooping a lot of stuff into 0.9.1 from that update as people get capacity. And then there might be an 0.9.3 that's just more general bugs if we separate out, maybe categorize them. And then 0.10.0 is going to be the zoning update. That's the zone tools and format changing entirely, which means we're going to be wiping. And that's also when we start to open the game up more to like people that want to help port maps and zone maps. We'll get like a standardized guide for people to zone maps for us if they want to help out and get all of your fan favorite maps zoned and ready. And then 0.11, all the 0.10 updates, by the way, are going to just be kind of mapping entity updates as well. Things like fixing the slide trigger to actually become a slide solid, as well as a ton of mapper requested features that I have currently forgotten. They're on our GitHub board, though. We have them tracked. If they're there, if they're not there, feel free to request them. And those will be those updates. 0.10.5, maybe. I don't know how many sub updates there'll be. But and then 0.11.0 is our replay refactor. This is changing replays to store more data in them. Basically, after 0.11.0, the game can start to open up a lot more to the general public, because not a lot of the core stuff will change. After 0.11.0, we start focusing on the various aspects of Momentum. So things like comparisons will be the 0.12 updates. Things like comparing against your friends, getting racing in place with a ghost or another person. that kind of stuff, right? So a lot of like the miscellaneous stuff will be started to focused on after 0.11.0. That's when tricksurf will also be picked up and finalized. Defrag, on the other hand, is making a lot of progress. Conc is pretty much done, but needs a couple of things finalized with community feedback that we're going to be iterating on as well. So Conc, tricksurf, and Defrag are going to be the last 3 modes that we are going to try to add and fully finalize for 1.0. And then post 1.0, we focus on parkour, the Titanfall 2-esque movement, and the climb mode, KZ, and all of the required stuff there. So that's kind of the roadmap for the game modes in relation to our versions here. Things can change if a lot of climb KZ work gets done to where there's a mode that people really like and it feels solid. We can implement game chaos and 0K's work into the game right away, and get KZ in. So it's just really dependent on that. So yes, hopefully that helps explain it. That was more of a version overview, but tricksurf is definitely in place. The trick system's there and ready to be expanded and worked on, but it won't be until probably after 0.11. 0.11.0. So 0.12 and 0.13 are kind of the last major pre-alpha updates. We're going to be doing a lot of miscellaneous small things that'll all meld together and make these updates. And if you want to know exactly what's still left, I kind of gave an overview. The previous Q&A sections or Q&A streams also have information on that. Feel free to check those out. But yeah, it's kind of fluid. But we also have our GitHub project board. This is a really good reference for what exactly is left in terms of specific work or bugs. If you want to see that granularity or that progress bar of the entire version, you can check that out there. I'm sure a mod can probably get the link to that. It's just on our GitHub, so just search Momentum Mod GitHub and you'll find our organization there. It's our project board. We should probably put that more on the main page of our site too. I think a lot of people might enjoy that as a link as opposed to just linking to our general GitHub. We'll see how we'll organize that, but hopefully that helps. Was there any input for this question?
Oh.
Cool. Thank you, Dulce. We'll move on to the next one.
Our next question is by Crow asking, will there be any custom HUDs available, or will it be only limited to what's shipped with Momentum and changing things in the settings?
Yes. We love custom HUDs. I can't wait to make my own.
Yeah.
Our HUD customization is absurdly powerful. It's
It's almost a little too powerful. We might have to dial it back.
Well, one thing we're going to show off in a bit, afterwards when we're doing a show off, we actually have Seagas working for Defrag. Which has been something that someone from the community's done, Pinskriker, where he's been able to come along and actually implement Seagas in JavaScript using Pano, which is fucking sick. And there's an enormous amount you can do with it. It kind of depends on how much API stuff we expose. We might limit it a bit in the future, just because it might be too powerful for some strafe trainers and stuff.
Yeah, you could definitely make it strafe.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. In terms of custom HUDs, if people want to do entirely new custom HUDs, you'll have an enormous amount of flexibility, an insane amount. In terms of the settings we give with the game, I would love to do in-game HUD customization. I would absolutely love it. Whether we do that or not kind of depends. It's probably a bunch of work and would be too much work to do before 1.0. Unless we can do trackable panels in JavaScript and do some really cool stuff. I don't know. I'm rambling. I'm gonna let someone else take over. I'm just rambling. There's a shitload you can do.
Yes.
Yeah, and one thing that I don't think we have in place, but I would like to, is kind of a way to directly communicate exactly what's changed, because I know it's kind of something with TF2 where sometimes update is released. Sometimes, but they just kind of make changes that break custom HUDs, and you don't really know what happened. But I really like to kind of have like an avenue of saying exactly what this is all what we're going to change and give people kind of a heads up.
Yeah. A heads up for their displays.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good point. We do want to make sure we're documenting a lot of our changes that we're making specifically with our HUD. But yeah, very much so. We allow you to completely override HUD files. The game searches inside of the custom folder first. So any custom HUDs that you want, you just plop them in there, and it should just work. And yeah, that is a good point. We do need to make sure we're on top of documenting changes that were made. We're also in the process of making sure a lot of our HUD panels are either fully in JavaScript or very minimally dependent on C++ code or changes. Yep. So where C++, where it makes sense, maybe harder calculations or just information that needs to be that's already calculated in C++, we just expose, which we're getting the hang of doing, or just making sure that JavaScript's not doing too much work, because that could lead to a much laggier experience. UI is absolutely something that players will notice if something is lagging or anything. So that's where we got to make sure we're optimizing for that. But absolutely, we want people to go crazy with custom HUDs. And yeah, just having the ability to do whatever you want within reason. So
yeah,
cool. Is there any other input for this question? Alrighty. We'll move on. Thank you, ckrow, or ckrow, for that. Move on to the next
one. Next question is by FadedFrank. Not a bad IGN there. Asking, will there be a website to check times on player profiles? Not a bad question.
Yeah, not a bad question. Yes, the Momentum Mod website. The Momentum Mod website will have absolutely everything. So the momentum-mod.org/dashboard. The Momentum Mod dashboard is aiming to be your one-stop shop for everything about Momentum. And ideally, if we have some sort of like app or whatever in the future, it just integrates with that. So yes, the website is also completely open source. So if there's any stats that people want to see on the site, they can absolutely add them and pull requests it in. Now, obviously, if there is something that people desire, please make an issue requesting it on the website repository. This will allow us to track it and discuss it before actually starting work, or maybe potentially rejecting people's work if it's something that we don't want, or something like that. So please definitely check out our website repository on our GitHub. It's completely open for that matter. Like we want people to be able to see whatever stats they'd like on our website. It'd be fantastic to just have a one-stop shop for it all. And then once it's in place, we have API calls for that that we could look into opening in the future, but we'll see. But for now, absolutely, that would be the website to check out. Yeah, it's kind of, it isn't just a backend, right? We could go the easy route and just make a backend that we host somewhere, just the API, right? But it is good to have some data visualization. So not just the game, but also on the website. And in fact, the website could even go more in depth with wonderful graphing libraries and stuff that we could take advantage of.
Which Nebula already has support for, so we should definitely do that.
Yeah. So, we don't need e-charts or anything.
Yeah, Nebula does it. Yeah.
So, yeah. Yep. Was there any other input?
Well, I had to go for a sec, but yeah, no, front end stuff we're going to be working on a bunch.
Yeah.
It's going to get a lot better. The fonts are going to be a bit less horrible.
Yeah.
That's my first
as much as Babus is overused.
12-point Babus Neuer.
8-point Babus. Let's go. Yeah. So be on the lookout for that. The Git activity channel in our Discord will help you see it's not just dependency updates, it will also be code.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dependabot. Anyway, cool. All right. I guess we'll move on. Thank you, FadedFrank, for that question.
Next, our next question is by PinkFluffyAnt asking, are there plans for ghosts when there are 2 or more players playing the same map in a lobby? And what about ghosts for the fastest run on a map?
Right on.
So, yes to the last one.
Yep.
I'm not too sure what the first one, I guess, like, can you start a ghost that someone else can see? Which...
Or does this person just not know how multiplayer works? I don't know.
Correct. So I think that this person just hasn't seen how multiplayer works, and that's all good.
Yeah.
Just recapping. Yes. So the way that our multiplayer works is you host a lobby, which is a layer on top of the game. And whenever you're on the same map as somebody else, that is when you see them. And it will be a ghost, and it'll be their live movements. It's whenever you get their packets. So it might be not exactly like 30 millisecond ping or whatever, but it'll be very, very close. And yeah, it's a ghost, a real representation of them. And yeah, that we'll be showing that off in a bit after all of these questions. So stick around if you're here, PinkFluffy. But yeah, and then goes for the fastest run on the map. That is the O12 comparisons update. We're going to be allowing you to race against any person's time, and you can spectate it. You can see it visually, in the map with you. Absolutely. Not just fastest run, but any run. Your friends, your PB, your own PB, stuff like that. But yeah, cool. Any other?
On to our next question.
Yeah.
FadedFrank wants to know, will there be cosmetics that can be earned from beating specific maps?
No. So we talked about this actually in a prior Q&A stream. I think it was either snuck in or it was one of the questions asked. The amount of collaboration that has to go in with mappers on what specifically the cosmetic would be might be too much work to time it. We'd rather have cosmetics be around maybe major events in the game or more community-oriented things. Adding specific maps that might be very difficult. We could do I'm trying to think of like things that we could try to do with that specific map, but a cosmetic is just a little too much. We'd rather reward people for beating every map with a really badass cosmetic rather than a specific cosmetic for a specific map. Now, I don't know, some maps are kind of prolific, right? Like they have, so much history and so much namesake that it would make sense to make a cosmetic in the style of a map or mapper's style. And that's something we could do too, where we celebrate maybe somebody that's done a lot of content. We could do something like that. But when it comes to a specific map in particular, the achievement done on a specific map should be the time that you got or the completion, depending on how hard it was for you. And, like that, I know isn't as bragging or isn't able to be bragged as much as a cosmetic or shown off as much as a cosmetic. But it gets really tedious because it's like some mappers might start feeling bad that like their map's not getting a cosmetic. And it's like, well, okay, does every map get a cosmetic? Yeah, so we're gonna go with a hard no on cosmetics for beating specific maps, but the achievement there is beating it, right? Like that should be, and then we could have cosmetics for having 100% completion of all maps or something like that, or the milestone approach of where you've beat over 500 surf maps, so you get surf related cosmetics that you can show off. Stuff like that is more valuable in my opinion. And then, yeah, we could start looking into the niche of like, oh, this mapper has created a lot of really awesome maps. Here's like their collection or something, celebrating that mapper for doing something awesome, right? For doing amazing things with their maps and their contributions to the community, right? So we could do that approach, and I like that a lot more than just like, oh, you beat Omnifig, here's Nairo's Twitter account. Anyway, yeah, so we'll see how we exactly want to do it, but for the specific maps, no. So yeah, was there any other input people had?
Yeah, maybe playlists. Yeah, the seasonal stuff, but
yeah.
Well, I think that wraps
All
it
right.
up for that question.
Yeah, thank you, FadedFrank, for that question. Move on to the next one.
Phil, it's spelled with an F, wants to know, will the F13 through F24 keys be available for keybinds?
We do have an issue open for that.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's working on it or what priority it is.
Yeah. Are there keyboards with a second F key row? I never.
That's what I was wondering. I
think they're virtual.
Oh, they're like the macro keys.
Before even existed.
Yeah.
Unless they're
Interesting.
using like a MIDI controller or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Source is old, so it doesn't have it.
Yeah. It's a matter of dev getting into the input system and looking at what keys they're represented as from Windows and then mapping them properly. It isn't impossible, so I'm gonna say yeah, it could be bindable. It's just a matter of dev effort. So if somebody wants to check it out in the future, it isn't high priority. Obviously, I didn't even know F13 through F24 was an actual thing. I thought this was actually a troll question, but I guess if they are virtual macro keys, then absolutely we could do that. So
we're gonna do MIDI keys as well. We can like, you know,
you can make music while you're surfing.
MIDI keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so hopefully that answers that, Phil, or with an F. Phil with an F. Thank you for that question. We'll move on to the next.
Our next question is by Firestabber, asking how much mapper control is currently in place over gameplay, like gravity, tick rate, max velocity, timescale, air acceleration, as well as weapons, and how will this change over time?
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
You change tick rate? No.
No.
But
Yeah.
like gravity, can you change? Yeah, you can change maxvel.
Actually, yeah.
That's for surf. Yeah. Airaccel though, I don't know. We still have yet to add some entities for weapons, but
Yeah.
that'd be nice to add.
Yeah, so there is kind of a limit when it comes to consistency. Because first of all, if we do allow you to change things like tick rate and airaccel and timescale, how do we convey that to the player? Like, do we have some sort of like HUD element that says, hey, this is a different tick rate, and our player is going to understand what that means? I mean, our learn section is going to kind of mention tick rate in like very brief, like, oh, hey, like the higher the tick rate, the more the game updates. So the more like strafing and stuff affects your speed gain, right? So when it comes to altering core like gameplay elements, probably not so much. But it would be interesting to allow it to be open. I think I truncated this question just to make it fit, but I think this was more towards like how will 2.0 kind of work, right? So the idea with 2.0, which I guess, by the way, talking about versions for a sec, 1.0 is the public beta. Everybody has access to it on Steam. You can go and click play now. All of the sub updates, right? The other game modes that we add, and maybe, you know, like dedicated servers or dedicated lobbies and stuff like that, all builds up to 2.0. 2.0 is kind of our culmination release of like our kind of last major release plan for the game of a campaign with tutorial as well, with a nice story, and then mode mixing. Think of like custom games from like Halo kind of era. So being able to customize any of these things and have different elements from different modes inside of a map just like how we have mode overriding, it would have way more control. You can make like a config or something to have a custom game mode, and we could see what could arise from that. Now, when it comes to mappers and official maps, we need to have a sense of consistency. What makes a mode map, it basically falls in line with how does the mode perform usually, right? What's its airaccel, tick rate, how do rockets actually behave? Now, that doesn't mean that double negative. This also means that we do want to try to support gimmicks, right? We like the idea of emergent gameplay that could come from like, Beggar's Bazooka and stuff like that. We are trying to support like in some official capacity so that we could see and testbed like how will that mode kind of branch from, it's a sub mode of rocket jump because it's still rocket jumping, right? But it's a different rocket launcher or different behavior of rockets. We still want to support that. So there's a definite need for like having some control over like the core gameplay mechanics, enough to be able to like create this emergent gameplay or like new kind of take on the modes. But the other side of that is like they might not be official maps for the mode, or we would have to make it extremely clear even before playing the map or something that it's not just like all of the others, right? Mode consistency that's the other thing too. It's probably not as prevalent nowadays, but some multiplayer servers had different settings because there wasn't any consensus. Some servers might have had higher airaccel rate or something than others, right? For bunny hop or surf, and so it's like there's no standardization with that, right? Versus like what our platform's trying to do is centralize and standardize a lot of it, so that you have a consistent experience that you could find on a given server usually, but like there might be some differences with that. So kind of recapping here with mappers, we want to allow the mappers to be able to change things, right? Like gravity, weapons, altering weapons. When it comes to tick rate, you can't dynamically change it. When the server's running, it causes some weird side effects. So for the most part, tick rate has to be done before you load the map. So that's how Momentum changes it right now. It's currently, we'll figure out maybe by 2.0, maybe we can do it dynamically, or we can make the change that tick rate gives more prevalent or something. I don't know. Like it could be inside of like the movement code as opposed to, I don't know. We'll look at options as we approach 2.0 for like the game settings changing, but for now we're going to be focusing on emergent gameplay from elements in the map. Low grav, no grav, negative gravity, I don't know if that works, but weapons, modifying the weapons for like the weapon specific modes, and the effects of the weapons, so the rockets and stickies themselves, that kind of stuff is interesting, but we also need to find a consistent way to display what has changed. So if there's a way to maybe add, there's HUD messages and stuff like that, but people don't know how to read. There's ways to do it. We'll be investigating how we want to kind of show, because like even Defrag has things like power-ups and haste, right? Like as an example that Lumia just added. So we're going to be looking at like how do we display that you have this power-up, and that could probably be the system that could be, the map has different core settings maybe, or this track, because that's the thing, the track refactor that we're going to be doing at 0.10 might allow you to change things like gravity or airaccel for this track, right? So if you hit like a stage and a specific stage should be no grav, right? You can do that as opposed to putting a gravity trigger everywhere. Yeah, so that's kind of how things will change over time. It's just we'll probably be more and more open as we go on. It's just some are actually like just the way the engine's set up, changing dynamically might not be possible, just at least with tick rate. Timescale might be too obnoxious. Changing how the entire game runs is a little.
That's a lot.
It's a little too much. Especially with if we want to actually have anti-cheat work with this. Because like timescale related stuff is things that we will be detecting. So we don't want to submit a map that gets people banned automatically for playing it. Not yet, at least. We'll see how that changes over time. No. So hopefully that rambling kind of explains it, that right now we're going to be focusing with O10, we're going to be focusing on the more emergent gameplay out of gravity, changing weapons, maybe a little bit of airaccel, who knows, but maxvel is also something that that has been kind of like up in the air of like, well, like Omnific needs it, but Omnific only needed it for the bonus, so things like that where it's like maybe maxvel as well through zones. So we'll see kind of what we expose and where, and then how we show it on the HUD. And then how that'll change over time, we'll just see. We'll see how we want to open it or close it. So, yeah. Was there any other input for this question?
No,
I think you covered that really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was about to say you covered it fairly well.
Yeah.
All
right.
Our next question is by CubiCub, asking, can you rate the Momentum community on a scale of 1 to 10? Oh boy, this is a tough one.
Very good.
They give us a
Very
12 out
good.
of 10, but you know, I don't know if we can come to
So
terms
let
with answering this.
Let me get the.
Wait,
Yeah.
I've got to say, like 5 minutes after this got posted in Q&A live, I was in voice was false, and I was like, "You're false. Look at the react I did on this question."
I was just about to talk about them.
Yeah.
So first of all, I don't know what the scale is. Is 10 good or bad? Are we going like tiers, right? Like, is it a tier list of like tier 1, like tier S, right? Like, is that? So I don't know what the scale is, but according to our community, we have 23 people rating us -1, 7 people rating us 100 emoji, 2 people rating it as off topic, which is, it's a question, so it's not off topic. Get out of here. 4 people doing hot doggy, which I think I'm in that group, honestly. And then 8 with the Minecraft cow, 9, 10, 11 with the Minecraft cow. You guys are rigging the vote.
Oh,
anyway,
Minecraft cow, yeah.
So as you can see, we're all over the place, but in an honest answer, it is actually really awesome, the level of community that we're building, and have yet to build, right? Like I think once we get Defrag over, a lot of people from Defrag might come over. It's just a matter of supporting and adding the maps, and then, you know, not threatening a wipe is when we'll actually start to really have a solid, like, consistent community. But just the level of community that we do have already has just been amazing. And I mean, yeah, we even like Discord partner and stuff like that. Like it's just incredible. We have over 7,600 people in the Discord, like, and like they're pretty active, I guess. Not too many scammer Discord links or whatever in the chat.
One of them.
Yeah, but it's phenomenal. So I rate it hot doggy out of 10. If 10 is good. But thank you for the 12 out of 10 as well. Yeah, it is awesome to see how far this game's come in the community that we fostered. So from my view, at least, it's amazing. Hot doggy out of 10.
I want to add to that. It's just that it's a really fun mixture of people as well. I think partly because the age range is really wide. And I say that partly because it means it's not just 16-year-olds. But like, it is genuinely really nice that we have, like, you know, Conc players and stuff who have like played since, like, you know, early like 2000s, like chatting with, like, you know, just like people in their, like, yeah, teenagers probably. And like, it's, you know, as far as the Discord goes, it's a relatively mature community. There's some idiots, but very few, like, you know, comparatively.
Manageable idiot. Idiot count. Yeah.
Which is really sick, and I think that's actually.
Shout out to our mods.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have slightly frustrated conversation in the mod channel every now and then, but for the most part, it's really good. Yeah, and I think it's
For how big it is, the Discord's huge.
Yeah.
So many people.
And then you see stuff like the Fortnite Discord with like 1 billion people in it. And it's like, how do you even manage that? Like, there's like 500,000 people in it.
Chaotic after 1.0, but
for sure, yeah, no doubt.
But I think you know, playtest has been nice, and you know, we've had a lot of new people join the server, and for the most part, you know, it's still pretty mature. It's pretty reasonable. You know, and it's a really fun group of people to like actually make a game for and get feedback from.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
Yeah.
Well,
So, was there any other input?
that answers that.
Yeah. All right.
We're
Cool.
very proud of the community that we've gotten.
Absolutely.
Proud of you
Negative
guys.
1.
-1 out of 10. Integer overflow. All right. Yeah.
So I'm
Mexican.
probably gonna butcher this guy's next. Probably gonna butcher the next IGN that I'm about to pronounce. 1 kilogram day media.
Media lunas.
Yeah, media lunas.
Media lunas. Yeah.
I think that's a little accurate. I'm on the right curve here, I believe. Do you have plans to add duels where you challenge one or more players to getting the fastest time in X amount of minutes?
Yes.
Isn't that how like races are structured?
Yeah.
Yes. Fantastic
I think
question.
that's it as well, which
Yep.
went really well.
Yeah. Surf's Up. This is the format for Surf's Up.
Right.
Absolutely. Yes. So that is the O12 kind of focus update of comparisons in racing and like sort of tournament mode in a way. Tournament mode's just going to have more specific UI so that there's like a spectator for the tournament. Anyway, so the competitive side of our multiplayer that we get to do is, we get to say, like if you want to race or duel or whatever somebody, you can do it in the same lobby and you start a race and they join it. And what you do is you choose the time limit, and then it's just you have that time limit to get a run submitted to our site, and we'll validate it and stuff. And it's the fastest person that gets the time there wins. So yeah, absolutely, this would be really, really cool. And then you can branch it out and make it, oh hey, like technically, right, as long as like there's enough people synchronized with like clocks, I guess, you could make this be scaled to as many people that can submit as possible. So like that is kind of how our tournaments will be going too. So Surf's Up is a very big inspiration for this, where like a 1v1 kind of, I think I talked about this maybe in 2 Q&A streams ago, the 1v1 kind of more intimate racing or tournament style, where you just cycle out the people, versus maybe like an entire clan hosting this and just like throwing like a mini leaderboard sort of challenge of like, here's this like map that one of our mappers in our clan made, go and beat it, like see who's the best like on this map. That kind of stuff is absolutely going to be added, where there's more of a temporal kind of like competitive multiplayer side of things. And that's also where you can earn some like extra cosmetic XP and stuff too. So absolutely. Yeah. So
In fact, in homage to the last stuff that we're actually adding ramp bugs back in. So when, just in homage to when Red Sea like lost a match due to ramp bugging on stage 2 of Surf Oasis. That was great.
God. Yeah. Yep. Don't have to worry about that here. And then also lag, right? You don't have to worry about if your connection to a specific game server is bad, right? It's just make sure that you have connection to our servers, which we can try to, add points of presence around the world and stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome to flesh this out and see like what kind of comes out of it. And then that could also be where we have like maybe more open race lobby sort of things where people can host dedicated race servers and just go through different like maps and different we've talked about this a ton. Like there's a ton of potential with like the gauntlets even is another one that's more of a solo kind of speedrun track, and then just tournaments being able to go, like again, the potential for tournaments to go into other game modes, right? Because we're not tied to a specific game mode's server, right? We're tied to any map that we officially support. So just the ability to really expand upon like the competitive side, I'm really pumped about, because a lot of people might think that right now we don't really have that big of like a, I'm missing out on the community side of things. We absolutely want to have a ton of community sided features like this. So keep an eye out. O12-ish is kind of when we're going to be adding the first mode of this, probably more so towards the tournament mode, because we want to work with Kurt, maybe get Surf's Up 2 or something hosted in Momentum and for 1.0. So or close to 1.0, maybe to hype up the game a bit. We'll see how that goes, but yeah, really excited for the potential here. All right, any other input for this question? Cool. All right, thank you, 1 kilogram. We'll move on to the next one.
2.2 pounds of croissants is the translation for that last again.
Okay.
Imperial.
This next question actually is a pretty well-deserved question to be answered. Eon is asking, why are there so little rocket jump and sticky jump maps being ported to Momentum while Conc and Ahop maps are ported more often? Plenty of people have zoned maps for other modes, but why aren't we seeing those maps ported over?
Cool.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is like more people are making maps for Momentum for those game modes. Like, I mean, Ahop specifically, nothing's really ported. It's just made. And like, if you make a game or if you make a map for Momentum, I don't want to say 100% likelihood, but like, yeah, we're gonna add it. But not too many, rocket jump, sticky jump maps made, and also like maps like Ahop and Conc kind of need more testing. Like, we're pretty confident about rocket jump and sticky jump, so I don't know, more content, get people playing the modes that we're not too sure of completely game movement wise. So
yeah.
Well, there's that, but also keep in mind the Conc maps are coming from another engine, right? Conc is from TFC. Some's already been ported to Fortress Forever, I think, which is Source.
It's just worth keeping in mind that all the zoning will have to be redone at some point. So,
in terms of proper map supports, right? That when for 0.10, when we actually start, we will have a much more specific specification for how maps need to be ported and like exactly sort of what entities, like stuff like sound, how that should work, which will be like, you know, something sort of very clearly specified going into or after 0.10. For maps like Conc, and I guess Conc's the only one right now, but Defrag in the very near future as well, are maps coming from other engines where there's a bunch of effort to be made just getting the brushwork in, right?
Yeah.
So entity stuff wise, those maps will probably go back to those maps and clean those up a bit, especially the psych ports. I mean, some of those are a mess. Like,
jeez.
Look, I would have beaten Conc. What was it? Was I?
The speed where it like takes you back to the beginning.
No. Okay, speed 2's broken, but the one where there should be like the Conc should be able to fall through some of the glass at the start of the last stage, and it doesn't. So you have to do this extra horrible thing. Anyway, is it? Yeah, it is easy. Yeah, that's right, Blink. So a lot of that stuff we need to get cleaned up anyway and go through that sort of like final porting effort as well. It's just right now, since we need to get those most tested, and it's an initial effort getting them like literally like the blush work ported from another engine. It makes sense for us to get that in and test that now. Whilst like rocket jump and sticky jump are coming from the same engine, a lot of stuff is very similar. Like, we can load those maps directly. It's just the actual final porting stuff will be like is the job that's going to be done for like all those maps anyway.
Yeah, and jump modes still have like jump modes use quite a bit of entities, so there's still like things we haven't implemented.
But the one exception, right, is that for any map where someone's making a brand new map using Momentum specific entities, we will add that map.
Yeah.
Regardless of the mode. For any mode, we'll do that. So we've had a bunch of B-Hop maps added lately. I mean, there's braided S3 Iron Moon, right, which use a bunch of portals. That was like the last S3 map we added. And ISOs as well, yeah.
Make maps for Momentum.
Yep.
There's portals. Come on. Where's the portal rocket jump map?
Yeah.
I say as I'm working on one and taking way too long. Never mind.
So I'll emphasize, you guys pretty much nailed everything. What I'll emphasize is Conc and Ahop are the best modes, and that's why we're getting so many maps of them. And also because 0.10 is coming up, and it is going to require rezoning every map, including the ones we're adding right now. With Conc in particular, it's mainly because we don't have a pool of content already. RJ and SJ maps exist. There's like 3 different CDNs that we can download them from.
Yeah.
There's already a platform for them as well.
Yeah.
There is no platform for Ahop. You could go and load the maps in Half-Life 2, but no one does that. Instinctively does that. Right? So there are no platforms already for these maps. So we're giving, or these modes in particular, so we're adding them. If Defrag was in place and maps are already ported and like we had entities and stuff already figured out, in fact, it's very soon, we would be adding Defrag as well, maps. So it's more just kind of promoting these platforms that don't have, or I mean, you know, they're kind of specifically like out of the way. Like Conc, you could probably still go play if you get TFC and, you know, host your own server or whatever for it. But yeah, there's that's the main reason. There's a ton of surf and bunny hop maps, right? A ton of bhop. There's like 3,000 bhop maps. So yeah, we're anticipating adding all of them, but right now is not the time to add every single known map ever, mainly because of that wipe that's coming through. So 0.10 will be adding new zones, new entities to help with porting, to get behaviors that were really jank, you know, figured out and implemented natively inside of an entity, so that map porters have an easier time just kind of replacing teleport triggers. For example, this is the first one, replacing teleport triggers with our own that stops you automatically. That way you can get rid of like the extra, the extra like player clips and stuff that block you and stuff like that. So just allowing mappers to be able to kind of maybe retouch up, or map porters or mappers themselves touch up their maps and then fix it, or release the fixed version there. I'm telling you, after 0.10, this question will be laughed at, because we will be adding as many maps as we can possibly get to potentially see how they work, how the scale of our S3 bucket and everything works, how downloads work for everyone. Now, obviously, right, the replay form refactor is coming soon after, so all of these replays that you're generating will also be wiped, so there's no reason to grind a bunch of maps either. So that's the other reason why it's like we don't want to add. I mean, we can, and that's why we're doing Conc and Ahop, right? We can add maps still, but we don't really want to go crazy yet. That is absolutely the 0.10x updates. Now keep in mind, we will, as we approach 1.0, we're going to just completely wipe, shut down, and just piecemeal everything back in place. So we'll, you know, like we'll probably release, like we'll probably change the API endpoint to just not accept anybody by default, and then just set everything up, get everything in place, get our run verification, have the team members go through and submit runs, try out maps, give the keys out to, or tell the, influencers, that's the word, the influencers that we have keys, tell them to go set times on their favorite maps as well, make videos about the game, etc., and then we launch. Right, so like, and then we open the floodgates, everybody comes in. So yeah, we got a lot of work ahead of us for when it comes to actually like adding all these maps. But you know, people also like trying out new modes, so I'm hoping that all these Conc maps being added maybe promotes people to try out the mode and maybe find something that they like. Again, Conc and Ahop are the best modes, so yeah.
Please play Conc.
Yeah, please play Conc. So yeah, but other than that, what these guys said as well. So all right, any other input I might have missed?
No, I think you gave a well-deserved answer to a very valid question.
There will be soon TM.
Yeah.
There will be many more maps.
As much as I really want
yes
maps right now.
Yeah, there will be, and it will be glorious. And again, this question will be laughed at like 0.10 something, 0.11 and onwards. We will have the maps and get sued by Arby's. All right, anyway, moving on. All right, moving on. Thank you, Eon, for that question. Moving on to the next one.
Next question is a very valid question as well. Riku asking, what made you guys choose the futuristic style for the weapons? And Me personally, I think that falls under what we have planned for the campaign. There needs to be sort of a impression of the timeline that this campaign is going to be existing in, and it's definitely not going to be present day because you can't shoot at the floor and climb up walls. So technology is definitely advanced, meaning it's going to be not in the present day future.
Well, you can shoot a rocket at the floor. You just won't live to see.
You won't survive.
You won't live to see the outcome.
Exactly. You won't be able to complete the run.
Yeah, you can, but only once. I like that. You can, but just once.
Yeah. Yeah, it's mostly just like the general lore, I guess, of the game. Without going too much into it. And it's also, I don't know, I feel like taking a very realistic approach to the design and weapons and all that didn't feel right because much of the game is very unrealistic in its nature. Right, like if you had a realistic rocket launcher, I don't know. It just doesn't seem right because the weapons aren't really weapons; they're tools. So I think it made more sense to take a little bit more, not like very abstract, sort of fantasy type of.
Gives us the opportunity to make things a bit more stylized. Like Falk was mentioning, if we went the realistic realism route, you all would be expecting something that actually exists rather than something that doesn't play into the fantasy, like False is mentioning. A fantasy type, fantasy like theme.
We also have quite a good shader for it. PBR shader works really well with our metals and stuff.
Yeah,
looking great.
Where we kind of, False's new models aren't super high poly, but in game, but they are very high poly models that then get baked into normals, and I think that shows really well. You get really nice bakes with that quite sort of like angular sort of hard surface style of modeling.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Got a new model coming soon.
Oh god, it's good.
We need it worked up in a bit more, but you can see it in Team Showcase.
Yeah.
Yep. Or on their Twitter.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some real excitement coming from that reveal. People are definitely going to like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also the player model, if you haven't seen that.
Yeah.
A lot of cool work going on with it in the team right now. I don't know if I don't know if we want to show like any of because nothing that's like final right now. I don't know.
Yeah.
We've got some very cool animations.
But it's very cool, and I guess it's not really in-house, but but just great work coming along.
But it's stuff where like the amount of work that False put into doing like these really detailed fingers and stuff in the hands, which then goes into like really cool finger animations. It's great. It's really good.
I think people are gonna like it. But...
No longer have the knife.
You think people are gonna like it, or you know they're gonna like it?
At this point,
still people who want the triangles, though. You know, so, I don't know.
Just finger guns for everything.
If I could ever replace the beautiful primitive icosahedron.
But it is so exciting what's going on. Like bringing screen scale on, where we've not got any of her stuff in game yet, but screen scale animations are sick.
I can't wait.
They're really, really good.
They actually bring the game to life in a.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too hype up. There's like nothing to show for it right now, but just hold tight.
Yeah,
the game's gonna feel very cool.
Yes.
Every time we watch like streams of people playing the game for the first time and they've got fucking golden arms, like it's slightly depressing.
So bad,
because we know by 1.0 it's going to be so much better.
I did want to touch on that feel though. The other thing too is if we kept with the original styles from the games that we're taking them from. Defrag is from it's from the 90s, right? So it's high poly models weren't even the thing that like most computers could even handle back then. So like A Bug's Life was no, just okay. So yeah, like the main thing is that we want to have a consistent style that applies across every mode, right? Having a momentum themed like weapon set for the default gives a lot of people room. Like, again, obviously with the cosmetics, right? Luckily, we don't have the aspect of TF2 where it's like, oh, everything needs to be the exact same like style, but we can do that by default, and then our cosmetic store allows the differentiation, personalization that people want to have. But by default, what everyone will see at first, right, it will be this set, and it ties in with the campaign, and you'll get more information around that as we work more on it. But yeah, so that's kind of why the futuristic style in particular.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool.
Still bring like inspiration. Well, at least I try to keep like inspiration from the original like origins. So, like with the rocket launcher, I reference a lot of Team Fortress 2, the original stuff, and trying to emulate that, but of course like having
there's a weightiness to the models that I think works really well. But also us having
taking up your whole screen.
Yes, yeah. No, like Zaya gun or whatever.
So we have to having like style. You can use whatever you want. Actually, you can replace the V model. Whatever.
Yeah.
But I think us having a consistent art style is also just really important when you're playing a game that has maps that have a billion different art styles. So us having a sort of internal consistency of the player models and V models and weapons and stuff, I think is really important to keep you feel grounded in that sense while being able to play maps that are just absolutely all over the place. And
right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, to answer that directly, no, you don't have to have a futuristic style if you're submitting cosmetics. You can.
No.
But you can't, like, you don't have to. Yeah. All right. Hopefully that answers that question, Riku, for now. You'll get more answers as we release our campaign. Cool. So we'll move on. Thank you for that question.
Moving on to Lucy asking, can we get functionality for recording videos through the game?
Yep.
Why not just use OBS?
Well, they're actually, so that is actually a really good question. I know that was probably asked a little facetiously a bit there, but yeah, so OBS is kind of the standard when it comes to like recording like footage. But the integration into the engine and how the engine renders frames allows you to render at a higher frame rate and blend naturally into the video that you get. You don't have to have a crazy graphics card to get that frame rate and then blend via OBS. So recapping, Lucy, I believe, is a new person in our Discord. We are planning to integrate with SVR directly. In our replay viewer, we will have a button that lets you record like anything. I mean, we kind of want to replace Start Movie with it in a way. So with engine access, we can directly input, we can directly hook into things that SVR needs to hook into in order to render and produce wonderful videos. So absolutely, you will have some way to use an SVR-like experience inside of Momentum natively. You don't have to download and set it up yourself. It'll all be with the game, shipped with the game. Ideally shipped with the engine, right? Because we'd be implementing it engine level probably. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so just I guess wait for kind of 0.12, 0.13 when we're adding that, or it might be soon after 1.0. But we'd like to have some sort of video creation tool, especially as people get world records, or things like that. So it'll be heavily prioritized, if not picked up before 1.0. It'll be heavily prioritized after, but along with dedicated lobbies. But yeah, cool. Any other input for that? All right. You can also use OBS. There's nothing preventing you from doing that. But yeah, absolutely. In-game recording tools to help you blend frames, get that really smooth, natural motion blur. Yeah. It's definitely a very nice. Yeah. Right? So you get that smoothness. So yeah, absolutely. All right.
Cool. We actually have Lucy in the chat. Glad we were able to
Nice.
answer that for you live.
Awesome. There you go.
No,
Yep.
this was pre-recorded, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We're reacting to as if Lucy just joined the chat. So, anyway.
Thanks for not joining chat on cue.
On cue. Just,
Yeah,
the momentum bucks will be in your account at the end of the day. Thank you for the question. Hopefully that answers that. Stay tuned. We got some awesome plans with SVR integration. All right. Moving on to the next question.
Our next question is by Plar asking, what is the reason for not packing materials from Counter-Strike Source, CSGO, and Team Fortress 2? How will this be solved in the future? That's a very, very good question.
We don't own them.
Yeah.
Well, another big one is file size, right? We can't
Yeah.
post
Yeah.
huge,
Like a 50
maps.
gigabyte game. Although a lot of games do that now. But
I'm a little worried about that.
Yeah, well, file storage is something we.
We're on
need
very
to-
good terms with Valve.
Yeah.
We get on really well with them,
Yeah.
and really care an immense deal about our relationship with them. And the reality is that these are Valve assets, and
Mhm.
you know, it's if
Yeah.
Gmod can't get around it, then like
Yeah, exactly.
it's really frustrating. We've done a bunch of work on it recently, BLT's work recently, where we actually take bits of light map data or reflectivity data, and we can now do a sort of flat texture or a textured version with
really
like
works really well.
shaded
yeah.
color on top.
yeah.
So a lot of maps work pretty well without the textures.
Baking in model collisions too would be good.
We're gonna have to do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be fun.
Well, it's not. Yeah, would be good.
It's
required.
essential. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating, and we're very aware of the frustrations people have of needing CSS or whatever. But it is just a reality of those are Valve assets that we don't own. Hoopless did make a flowchart that's really useful. It's something where we're sort of constantly making little bits of progress and making as much effort as we can to improve the situation, but there's no simple solution of we wave a magic wand and suddenly everyone that needs CSS textures has them. That's just not something feasible for us. So.
Yeah, we can we'll definitely be warning people hey, this map requires this game's asset.
So we can make the game run really pretty well without the assets. We'll warn you for not having them.
Yeah, and also I think we talked about replacing assets with our own.
Yeah. Once we can afford to hire 10 dedicated substance style artists, then then we'll do it. I mean, honestly, there's not
you can do them all, right?
Yeah, once cloning technology exists and I learn substance designer properly, honestly, I mean, that is quite a feasible project, but it would still be very hard and it would take a lot of
that's just
work.
a massive amount of time.
It's why not just rewrite Hammer?
I'm curious about a kind of AI based stuff where you could sort of try and train some AI to make pretty similar texture to CSS stuff, and then feed it in descriptions of those textures, so you weren't really going past any copyright or something, but could get it to do something pretty. But honestly, I think doing a full text replacement is going to just require a really large amount of human labor, which we don't have a ton of time spent to do stuff like that. I don't know. It's something we think about really pretty regularly. I think about once a month, I'm in the shower and I'm thinking, how can we do fucking CSS textures better? No, Al, fuck you. No, Al, we've got Defrag stuff coming up, and soon you'll see.
The toxicity.
Yeah.
Immediate. We will have some Defrag stuff, Al. So stick around. Stay tuned.
Stick tuned.
Stick tunes. So my input on this, I can talk. You guys nailed the first part, so I'll talk about the second. How it'll be solved in the future. So it was brought up that the cloud storage that we have, we don't want to store literally every material from every game independently on each individual map. That is extremely inefficient. So that alone, the fact that it's packed individually into each map, would just be so much cloud storage that is unnecessary, right? Like, so that's why we're ripping them out in the first place, is just smaller map files, is quicker download, faster into game, etc. The other side of that too was the copyright side of things. We don't own any of those. We can't distribute them with the game. So valuing,
if you're a CS:GO server or whatever, and you're, you know, sending a bunch of people maps that have assets from other games packed in, like, Valve's not going to complain, right?
right?
And that's how CS:GO servers currently do that. If you join a CS:GO server and it's got a bunch of CSS textures, that's because it's been packed into the map. They've sent you that within that map's BSP. It's not technically legal. It's probably not legal. Who really knows? Valve's
Breaks
not going to
copyright,
take an
yeah.
issue with it. We're an actual independent game, and we got on really well with Valve. So
Yes.
sorry,
It
I
is.
interrupted, but
No, that's what I was approaching. It is paramount for us to be on really good terms with Valve when it comes to packed content in the map. You know, we'll have thorough map reviews as well. Part of that map review process is stripping these out. Some maps don't currently strip them all out, but we'll get around to it with our final map pass that we do for 1.0. Now, how it'll be solved, we already have the flat texture, as they were talking about. We're going to default to that when you're not like in a mapping mode. So that way, at least when you're just playing the game, it'll look okay. We will also have, as mentioned, the UI that lets you know if a map had packed content from, or relies on content from these games, in which games in particular. We'll have a kind of Gary's Mod-esque like mounting kind of settings or like status sort of thing where you can see which games that you actually have mounted properly, and it'll work fine. The other aspect to this too is TF2 and CSGO are free, but they're fucking huge. I think both of them installed is like 40 gigabytes of a bunch of random shit that no map that we support uses yet, or at all. So what we want to do is go through those VPKs very painstakingly, build a list of file names and like of the different content in these VPKs and which VPKs they come from, to get the kind of master list of things from these games that maps would be most likely to use. And then effectively create a tool that takes your installs of these games and rips out all of this content and repacks into its own VPK inside of your Momentum folder. This would allow you to therefore uninstall all of these games, but ideally you installed the games in the first place to get this content, especially coconut.jpg. Our game will not start unless you have that mounted. So yeah, there's a lot of content like that is just not needed, right? It's just straight up just garbage. So if we can skim off that garbage and take out the cream, right, of the, well, I guess you skim the cream off this. Anyway, you take the chunk that you actually need, right? We can reduce that down significantly. You will still need, you know, some disk space if you want to support every single map ever, because again, our error replacement texture is going to support the cases in those, you know, if you don't have like CSGO and you only play a couple of CSGO maps, right, or CSS or whatever maps, that should take care of that. But ideally, this kind of tool, this script, first of all, will automatically do this. So you just hit a button like in our settings or something to do it. Yeah, like so yeah, it would be TF2 and CSGO are free to play, so that's no problem. CSS is where the main problem comes from, but I'd like to repeat, as I do kind of with every single stream, you will have to have an unlimited, quote unquote, unlimited account on Steam, which means that you have to have had spent $5 of your own money somewhere on Steam. CSS costs 10, goes down to I think $2, I don't know, on sale. It gets really cheap. We recommend buying CSS because that guarantees that your account is unlimited. Now, you know, for 99.9% of you guys already have unlimited accounts from buying other games and stuff, so it's not really a problem. But yeah, we genuinely recommend that you do get CSS. Support, you know, Valve a bit. let them you know, get money for the textures that you have here. I don't know why it's not free to play, right? Like I don't know why CSS still costs money. I guess because Trouble in Terrorist Town and stuff like that. gets them a lot of money from people buying CSS there too. But still, we do recommend it. It's the highly compatible version. We automatically mount it the moment you boot the game after it's downloaded. It's just automatic. There are other ways to get it. There's VPKs you could download online and other ways to use like Steam Command, for example, to get it. But those are a little more involved, and you have to add, edit our files, and it's a little bit more involved. It's not very automatic. You have to do a lot of stuff. But that is an option for people that genuinely don't have it. Now, we will not be automatically doing that for people. We could have the guide on how to do it, but we can't automatically be doing that for people. It is an option, though. So, yeah, the other aspect of this, too, is I don't know if there's other games that we want to mount, right? We're porting Defrag maps soon, so maybe we'll probably have to have some sort of Defrag-esque texture pack that we'll have to just ship with the game. Oh yeah, and speaking of shipping with the game, we'd like to effectively ship all of the textures that a lot of mappers tend to use, like from texture packs and stuff, with the game. We'd like to basically rip them all out of the maps that we have officially and basically ship those with the game in their own VPKs. So you just automatically have basically 99, or not 90, but like it'll probably be like closer to like 70% of maps. A lot of textures used in like 70% of maps, right? That's kind of like the middle solution. The long-term solution is we strip out literally everything inside of a BSP and we ship it separately. We throw it on like cloud. So then that way, if there's maps that use the exact same thing, it just references it. And if you've already had it downloaded, like locally, it just uses that. That would significantly cut down download and bandwidth and et cetera costs. And I mean, that's the long-term goal, is to get it to where we just have your assets, like it's called the asset atlas. All of these assets that are used in maps kind of just in their own like cloud bucket. And then our site just uses like manifest files and like database entries in order to reference what maps use which of these assets. That is the long-term goal, is to get it kind of centralized under that. Because the other thing too about the asset atlas is it could be opened up to mappers. And so integrated with our hammer, you could automatically have potentially thousands of textures for free. You could see what are the more popular textures for grass, sand, etc. Yeah, and then on top of that, you could define replacements for things like sand from CSS or whatever, right? And just replace it. So there's a lot of it's kind of the pipe dream goal of like the long-term solution of content on Momentum. But it requires probably its own dedicated sub-team, and we are nowhere close to that. Maybe it might be a 2.0 thing so that we can long-term support the game, but we'll see. We'll see. If that sounds interesting, please let me know. We definitely need people to help us write the tooling to strip out content, matching based on like a SHA-256 hash or SHA-1 hash of the checksum of the files, things like that. We need help. It's very lovely. You can get a key if you don't have one, if you help us out. So I don't know, but long-winded kind of how it'll be solved in the future. We got a lot of options, but mainly we're going to be making sure that you're aware that you don't have the content that's supposed to be packed in these maps, but now has to be mounted. We'll make sure you're very much aware.
Okay, well, I
talked
think,
for like 30 minutes on
we
that.
covered that pretty,
yes,
thoroughly.
We'll move on. Thank you, Plar, for the question. It's very important because we don't
very,
want
very valid question.
Purple and we don't want pink and black check marks or purple and black check marks or checker
that's
boxes.
My favorite.
It's missing texture socks. That's our first so
console errors galore.
Yeah.
Working as intended.
Yes.
Console errors, I'll be impressed.
Yes.
We actually have the best error model.
So so hopefully that answers that. It will be dealt with over time. So cool.
So one of our last questions, because I picked up a couple from the stream.
Yeah.
Last question that was asked in our Q&A channel. SAS OP wanting to know, will there be Middle Eastern servers to play on?
I know
about-
we touched on it a little bit. Yeah, because
That's-
connections are peer-to-peer, so there's no real server like located in any specific place except for the one that you submit replays to.
I think we need to explain like how playing with players works, like with the lobby system. I think that answers the
on
question.
most people
Yeah.
are used to, right? On games people are used to, you have a central server that's hosted in one place. It's literally like a physical server that is just, running the source event loop or whatever. I'm thinking in node language. Anyway, and it is keeping every person in sync, and every player that is playing on the server has to be sending data to that server, and then their data gets sent out to all the other players and vice versa, like all the other players' data gets sent back to you, all via that server. In Momentum, we don't have that. We do peer-to-peer. So we don't have a strict central server keeping everyone perfectly in sync because we don't need that. We're a single player, essentially, game. Like, we're not, for instance, so reason why we're not doing tricks, for instance, where you can shoot rockets or grenades at each other or whatever, is because we don't have a central server keeping you in sync, ensuring that the grenade that someone's throwing at you is like gonna explode on the same tick as, but for both of you, right? We don't need that in Momentum because that's not the kind of game we're making. The game we're making is about single player racing, right? Where your client state is all that really matters. And we keep other players in sync as best we can, but it's not done via this central server that's doing it completely perfectly because we don't need it. So instead, we have peer-to-peer clients where you are literally sending data directly to another person wherever they are. You don't have a single server in some specific location. So, for instance, we don't need a server in the Middle East where you're sending data to some server in somewhere in the Middle East, and it's, so data is coming back to you from that server. We don't have that. So there's no central server to begin with. So it just,
On the other hand, that is the multiplayer aspect. On the other hand, we do have a web server that you're going to have API connections to. We can scale that around. We could, there's even technically serverless, right? Which is, anyway, we can scale our server to different points of presence on different continents so that the ping times aren't too bad. But at the same time, it really doesn't matter. There's not a lot of time sensitive things. Maybe run submission is the only thing where if you have like 20 or more seconds of ping, it might be bad. But it should ideally not take 20 seconds to connect to our website. So let us know if that's the case, but and what continent you're on, and we'll look into that. But when it comes to the multiplayer, it's peer-to-peer through Steam. So Steam, if it has any nodes out there in the Middle East or any servers out there, it'll be using those. So ideally, your multiplayer shouldn't be too bad. You're using Steam's network for all of it. So however good their connections are out there, I'm sure that affects it. There's nothing we can do about that. We're not going to implement our own dedicated server or anything like that out there where you connect to for multiplayer. So hopefully it's good. I don't know what their region coverage is. But yeah, I think people will be pleasantly surprised. And again, this is one of the main reasons we're making Momentum, is people in these regions with terrible pings to, some servers that might not even be near them, can now play and enjoy every single mode, right? Because it's all single player. Every single mode you can enjoy as if you were playing on a server that's right down the street. Ideally. Again, let us know if it's more than like 5 or 10 seconds of ping. That's really bad. And we'll look to improve that. We are looking to actually have some points of presence for our main servers in other regions, just so that eases the ping time, because that will be important for submitting runs, but that's about it. And even then, I think some of the run submission stuff could be technically serverless. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Ping affects spectating.
Yeah, so that's the thing, is like, unless you get severe packet drop from Steam, the only thing it's going to affect is how long it takes for that data to get to you, right? Which could lead to packet drops. But ideally, it doesn't, right? Ideally, it's just time. And so it's like, oh, it's not, a second-ish delay. It might be 4, for somebody that's in North America, if you're in the Middle East, to send you data and synchronize, get it displaying in your game.
Well, there's like, I noticed when I was playing with other people, like where they'll dead a sticky, and I don't see that they've dead the sticky, and
Oh, that's not good. That decal packets, which include the stickies, use reliable packets. That's not good if that happens. Dang.
The game cancelled. The game cancelled.
The game's cancelled.
Fuck.
Yeah, so we gotta look into that. I mean, how we shoot other players' weapons is kind of weird right now. I think, but moving them to actual like players in code, and then you have the weapon state should be better.
Yeah, we'll see it. Yeah, how that works.
Yeah. The core of the game will all feel very smooth, and like it doesn't matter where you play, right?
Most important thing, zero ping.
Always, no ping.
No ping is...
Yeah, if this isn't clear, like, it is still zero ping for you. Like,
yes.
No matter what.
The stuff we're talking about is quite,
it's very niche.
Rocket jump or sticky jump, and then it's like a negative 20 ping.
It's true.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah.
All
so,
right, well,
I guess we got some extra questions. Try to get your questions in the Q&A live channel. Again, it's open the entire month. Try to get them in beforehand, but we'll answer a couple more. It just gets tedious with like creating the timestamps and everything. Anyway, it also allows us to prepare. If your question has a lot of things that could be really good to show infographics or any like things that we could display.
Most of these we've done before.
Oh, really?
All of them we've done before in the Q&A live. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, in the Q&A live.
About half of them we've done before.
Okay. But in voice team, there's couple.
Of those couple questions, I'm going to combine the first two into one because they're essentially playing off of each other. Bonjorno wants to know, on Steam, they have Momentum Mod and Momentum Mod Playtest. Are these the same? And what's the difference? Which one should I be using for mapping?
Right on. Great question. In my blog post I have about the playtest announcement, I announced that if you have a key, you got both the main app ID and now the playtest. They are the exact same build. The only thing that changes is that it is a different app ID. So if you want to play with people that get into the playtest, stick with the playtest build. They're the exact same. When we update one, it updates both of them. We have shared content depots. So I would recommend even just sticking with the playtest. The main build still works. It's just I would recommend with the playtest because we're going to be doing things like mass lobby testing and stuff. And that lobbies, the only thing that doesn't work between them is lobbies, because lobbies are game ID specific, right? You can't have a GTA 5 game lobby interact with a Momentum lobby, right? So like things like that, right? So they are app ID specific lobbies. So if you want to play with people in the playtest, which I just recommend just switching over to the playtest for now anyway, you can copy over your configs, your maps, anything over to the same folder. It's the same folder structure as the main game too, because again, it's the same content folders, right? So absolutely, I would recommend going over to the playtest build.
Okay. The next question after that is by officerreekz asking, when spectating someone, does it show their key inputs?
Yes. Yep. You'll be seeing that very soon. We're about to go and play Momentum after these questions. So, yep, absolutely. It's important. And it's synchronized to when they move, too. It's not like a separate stream that's like out of sync. It's synchronized to like what they're doing in the game. So even if you have the 4 or whatever plus second delay, you will still see their keys that they're pressing, unless there is packet drop or anything like that. Cool.
This next one by realdiller is a pretty. I don't know about this one, but
no.
They want to know how does Momentum Mod plan to implement NFTs in the metaverse
at the same time.
Diller. Oh my.
Diller. I mean, we're already on the metaverse. You guys are just missing out. It's the future. All of the profile pictures. We're gonna get rid of your avatar on Steam and just use monkey pictures. You gotta spend momentum bucks, to like have a status in our. Oh God, what has technology become, dude? Like it's just. I don't want to piss off the crypto bros too much, but it's just so fucking pointless.
Yeah.
Anyway, in serious crypto talk, let me just mention this. Technically, we could make some sort of publicly sourced run verification that gives you momentum coin or something when you verify runs. Because you could be doing kind of what the calculations that our run validator would be doing, or like part of our run validation would be doing.
Right.
There is that distributed system that's interesting, but is momentum specific and would require enough people to be online to make it worth it and not, potentially abused from. I think Bitcoin is even like susceptible to the 50% attack, where you could control over half the nodes and like verify that this invalid thing. Anyway, it's an interesting idea, but it's very bad.
Despite all the like interesting technological stuff that comes to do with blockchains, that's clearly not the direction that crypto stuff is going at this point, right? It's not something that like a sensible game person, I think, unless they're just out to make a bunch of money from people doing shady stuff, it's not the right time to be using that technology, I don't think, right? Like even if there is something good there, now's not the time to do it, right?
Yeah. So, I would recommend if you have any NFTs to sell them and get out, because it's just gonna pop in who knows long.
But no.
Anyway,
the monkeys are gonna be worth loads of money forever.
Yeah, that was two people at the exact same time, but yeah. But comment about the metaverse. We're already in it, baby. This is it. This is the metaverse. You just don't know that you're in it yet. Zuck already won, baby. All right. Anyway, yeah. So metaverse is also fucking stupid. I mean, I like the idea of like a community being rebranded as a metaverse. That's cute. But other than that, no. We are not supporting VR in any way. So. You can wear VR goggles to watch somebody streaming Momentum. That's like the most VR support you'll ever get from us. So yeah. Though I think there was discussion a couple Q&A streams ago about potentially allowing replay viewing with a VR headset. If we separate out replay playback, like using the replay viewer that's like from the web, like web replay viewer thing, you could probably do something like that, integrate, VR goggles and like vomit while you watch somebody surf Omnific or something. So there is that aspect, but it's probably going to be some community project that somebody does and not us. Because we can make the replay format like public. That doesn't matter. Like people can parse it and do whatever they want. Yeah, but I know this was probably a joke question, but there are people that are really into it. So
yeah, we're in the metaverse.
It is interesting that some of the tech could be quite interesting for us for run verification, right? It's just even if like
I mean, but the game's niche. Yeah. The game's too niche, and like it would be really susceptible to any attack like that.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, unless we built a trust system somehow, and then those machines got corrupted somehow. Anyway, yeah, it's just that's the only extent that I've thought about blockchain in relation to Momentum. Yeah. If we do any NFT / moment or blockchain related stuff, it'd be a joke update, just like loot boxes, April Fool's kind of events.
April 1st.
Yeah. So not this April Fool's, but anyway,
it feels bad to even joke about it.
I know, because it's like it's actually like disgusting.
I think it's gonna a lot of people just getting fucked over by,
and they'll plan it. getting fucked over by the amount of wasted electricity for no reason. All right, so yeah, hopefully that answers that.
So an actual, our last question, serious question. It's gonna come with a tough answer because I don't know if we're prepared for this one. But Tank Slender wants to know, when's Momentum Mod coming out?
Tuesday.
Yeah, tomorrow. You just missed it. You just missed it. In seriousness, it is after we cannot give a date until we are about a month or so out. The reason why is because we have a lot of core work to do, but then after that we swarm a bunch of different things, and that will, like right now, like the big humps are panorama, zone refactor, and replay refactor. Once all three of those are in, we can focus on any cheat, website related stuff, and then basically a bunch of just smaller like features that kind of go quality of life hand in hand with everything. That's kind of the overarching thing. So those three are the main things left. Anti-cheat, web work needs to be done, and then a bunch of smaller. We'll weigh them. We'll see how much effort will go into it versus if it's worth it for 1.0 to be necessary, right? I did answer this question in a previous Q&A stream. Had little Plar asked it, I think. I had a little like thing, what's needed for 1.0. It's also in our blog. If you want to check out our blog, we talk about it. So yeah, don't have a date for you. If you're looking for a date in particular, we can't meet it. I'd like to also remind everybody that we're working in our free time. This is a passion project. Nobody here is getting directly paid for any of their work. The OC money that we're collecting goes towards helping our work, right? Getting us computers or software licenses, but nobody's getting a salary or anything like that. This is all through passion. And it is coming. I want this game out. I want to play this game. And that has not changed since day one. So it is coming out. It's just, it takes a bit of work to get there. People have things going on in their lives. And we have a lot of like things that we implemented before that we need to re-implement, but better. And that's the 3 and anti-cheat that we need to, that are just like straight up actually required. So yeah, soon. TM is the official answer. Just stay tuned in our Discord. Our Discord is regularly up to date with what's going on. Updates that we push to the playtest build. Make sure that you're signed up to the playtest build if you want to try it out. Remain patient for the playtest build. I know your friend that just signed up got into it. We don't know why. Steam says that's random, but maybe it's not. I don't know. We don't have any control over that. Other than opening the floodgates, which we can do closer to 1.0.
I don't know, we'll increase it, right? But
yeah, O10 and O10 and O11 will increase the number of daily drops that we'll do. So keep an eye out for that as well. We'll be increasing the numbers over time, and that's daily, right? So we want to get that down to 0, but right now we're just trying to get all of these things in place so people stop loading up Surf Utopia and complaining in our Discord that they don't have textures. That's like, no, I'm just kidding. It's fine to do that because that's a pain point that we actually need to address pretty quickly. Yeah. So, thank you as well for your patience as we work on this game in our free time, by the way. Just reminding you. It is awesome to see everybody's hype for the project, right? Like it's amazing. People in chats being like, whoa, what is this game and stuff when a new streamer pops up with it. It's awesome to see it spread and grow. And we haven't even like tried to share the word of it really that much yet. So I'm excited to see the full growth that the game will feel closer and closer to 1.0 as we start to really advertise it and get it out there. And yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it. So you can bet your booty that it's coming out. All right. You got my word.
We are thinking like every day about getting the project done. It's like very much something constantly on our minds, and we want to get it out as soon as we can.
Like,
yeah.
I mean,
I had
you
a
can
dream
also
about
help. You can help the project get out sooner too if you're full and passionate about it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
if anyone learn Nest.js, give me a shout.
Yeah.
Yep.
Learn Blender.
Blender to help us
Oh, wow.
with the models.
Yeah.
We need texture artists, right? We need mappers for the campaign for 2.0, and also just map reviewers as well. Absolutely. If you think that you can help us out, again, people of any skill range, ideally what we're looking at is passion. If you very cult-like, right? Me saying this, but
Yeah.
we want people that are very passionate about the idea of this game. You know, it is something to put on your resume, but it's not something that's why you should join the team. Is like, oh, worked in a team and didn't do anything, right? Like, we want this game to come out, and hopefully we find more people as well that also feel that way and join our team and help deliver a kick-ass game. If not, just spreading word, right? Just telling people, because who knows, maybe they know somebody that could help out, right? And it just cascades down. So please spread the word of the game. Share the cult. Get people to join our cult. No, the cult of Momentum Man.
Into the next Jonestown.
Oh God. But it ends with everybody just deleting their accounts.
With it being a free game, it's almost like a collective ownership kind of situation where, you know.
Yeah. It's not my right. And you see the fruits of your labor too. Yeah, and it's not, I mean, I started this project and I'm a lead for it, or the lead, I guess, for it, but it is very much the team's like project. It's not, I'm not trying to do this to steal everyone's credit. You know, I already have a job, right? Like, I don't need to use this to propel myself and ditch the project or whatever.
I need a job.
Oh yes, yeah. If
please give me a job.
Yes.
I'm doing it mostly for the
full remote job. Yeah. So absolutely consider helping or just spreading the word. That helps a ton. Showing hype for us, joining these Q&A streams, asking us great questions. Yeah. All right. Any other
dozen in Q&A live, but
we will save those for next time because you guys didn't ask them before the stream.
Also, I think a lot of them we have just answered before.
Yeah.
Completely.
Oh, that too. Yeah, we'll probably filter out the ones that we've answered. I mean, those just get turned into like the repeat, very quick and easy answers. We do recommend that you check out the Q&A live pins. We do have a pinned document that has every single question asked and their timestamp conveniently in the same document there.
It's enormous
so
at this point.
Yeah, it's going to get...
It's encyclopedic.
Yeah. So absolutely, if there's like keywords related to your question, just search in there for them. We've gone through a lot of them. It's not frustrating because, again, there's new faces every stream and stuff like that. So it's not a problem to very quickly go over a question that we've done before. Unless we get it every single month, in which case it might be a little too much. One of the repeat questions I'd love to start doing is the ZM's question that he asked, what have you guys been up to? Because I think that would be really good too. Like, starting like maybe starting next month, we could actually show, like, have different slides and talk about like things that we've worked on, show things in the slides so that there's like visual representation. But yeah. Oh, I guess we could also answer that right now, too.
Yeah, if you wanted.
Yeah.
Well, what have we been up to?
So yes, ZM's original question of what is everybody on the team doing, like right now? So what is everybody up to? So I'll start. I've just been doing a lot of administrative stuff again. I've been slowly working on the end of run panel, which you're actually going to see a mock-up of very soon here. I'm going to be hooking that up to the run that you just did, showing you this juicy stats in comparison against your PBs. And then that's all of the work by Tom, hooking that up to that. And then, I'm going to be working on also the comparisons panel, the one that pops up that everybody is asking to shut off. We're going to... properly have a much better time-only comparisons HUD panel that lets you just see at a glance where your run is at, ahead or behind. Because right now the timer only shows a split for a little bit and fades away, just as a quick like kind of glance. But then this panel will be kind of just more of a history on your run. So, yeah. Oh, is there an ad? Whoops, sorry about that. you guys will have to watch the I guess you could just got a sub, get rid of those ads. No, I think subs do. Okay, anyway, if you got Prime, hey, it costs less to click subscribe free with Prime than it does to watch an ad. Anyway, yeah, ads suck.
Jeff Bezos.
I just love ads, dude. It's so effective. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I've been up to. Just kind of more administrative, reviewing code still. It's important for me to know what's going on. A lot of stuff's going on. We just merged, I guess, kind of talking about what Rio's been up to. Rio, one of our coders, just merged in a giant movement refactor PR that absolutely cleaned up all of our movement code and made it very pulled out into their own kind of like game, like sections. So like conc movement, for example, is just all in like its own section. So it's much easier now for us to fix specific movement bugs in specific game modes. Much better than the messy one mom game movement file we had before. It was gross.
It means deleting rocket jump is like an one line of code. And
yes.
On the folder.
Exactly. Yeah, we just delete the file and there's no more rocket jump. Anyway, so yeah, very, very effective. But yeah, I've been reviewing stuff like that, just making sure that code's up to quality, and then just looking at more server related stuff and costs. So very administrative, but I plan to, like, one of the things, this is really like whatever, but like I had a meeting every single day of my week, and now we've condensed it now. So we do the Chaos Engine Dev meeting and Momentum Team meeting on Saturdays now only. So now I have Sundays free, so I can just like relax and actually like code. It is a very long day today. But I'd rather have it that way. I'd rather have everything just kind of laid out in a day, really neatly organized, so that after this Q&A stream, I can just go eat dinner and relax and then just sleep in for Sunday. So that kind of stuff, just a lot of real life stuff like that. But yeah, it's been fun. But yeah, I guess we can go down the list of peeps, what people have been up to, working.
I guess that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing lots of small things, lots of little small bug fixes. Exposing some values we need for Panorama through our APIs. Recently the version info, so pretty simple stuff, and the stuff needed for like the Defrag HUD that I will be showing, right?
We'll be showing off. Yep. See guys. Yep. So
yeah, some of that. And then I've been working on languages support for Panorama. So like auto completion, hover stuff for like JavaScript for Panorama's types. I have a VS Code extension too for CSS stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's important to me to kind of have the tooling there for when eventually we're going to get a lot of HUD makers. And
yes. And for our own development.
The way we do it now, you have to like search up something. I think Tom had like this giant spreadsheet of just crap that he has to like constantly look at. And I don't want that.
The panorama dump file that you had, that's like all the events and stuff.
Yeah. Spreadsheet. So yeah, it's important to me. I want people to have a fun time making HUDs. Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been working on really recently.
Yeah.
You next.
Me?
Yeah, you.
I've been working the machine gun mostly.
Gun.
Yeah. Gun. I mean, we need guns in this game.
Yeah.
And so I recently just finished that.
Look at Zoph's dog. Look at that.
Oh, look at that cat.
No, it's not a dog. It's a very feisty dog, yeah.
Yeah. No, I've been
Is that a snake?
Been doing well, and did some. I don't know if I did some recently finished the player model. And that's like, I just say that it takes a while. There's a lot of internal like design deliberation. But yeah, that probably will be doing the plasma gun next, which is for Defrag. Been hanging out. Yeah. Oh, I'm also gonna be. I want to redo the some what is it? Some projectiles. I wanted to like update.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you did the different thing.
Yeah, we're gonna have power ups for just like small like miscellaneous things like I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rocket.
Yeah, and then
power up I literally just did, and
eventually.
yeah.
A game that we still have to figure out.
Yeah,
And
but
I need to learn how to do Blender shaders.
love shader.
Yeah.
Fuel Conc official.
I'd love that.
I want to make a hamster for Pat.
Mm.
Just have that be the
Hamster.
sticky.
Hamster sticky one.
But yeah, soon.
Said nothing.
Tom.
Oh yeah, I've been doing some panorama. What?
That was the cat purring.
Oh, I've been doing panorama stuff and then trying to get away from panorama stuff to do web stuff instead because I need to do even more silly JavaScript. So I need to learn RJS, RxJS, and all that crap. I want to work on some other website stuff because we need to do some API work because poor old Alex has been left to do a big rewrite on his own. So I'm moving over to that.
Yeah.
But by Pano stuff, we're going to be able to show off soon.
Oh, is it my turn?
It
now?
is your turn now, but you are very occupied, so it's okay.
Whatchamacallit? What have I been doing recently? I've
Yeah.
been doing a bit of modeling, a little bit of texturing. Got a bit of an assignment with working on some models or prop models for one of our mappers' maps.
Oh yeah.
And I've been trying to figure out the best way to optimize it. Aside from that, looking at some ways to write out some stuff for the campaign, looking at different topics of interest that can more or less play into the overall story, how we could implement a couple more ideas into it. So a little bit of writing, a bit of modeling, and a bit of texturing. So been quite the experience, I should say, trying to balance it out.
Yeah.
So usually when I'm writing, I try to go for like a walk or something, so I'm away from the computer, less distractions, and then more time, more attention dedicated to just specifically that one task rather than trying to juggle between 2 or 3 different things at the same time. Like I am right now, trying to juggle this cat and explain what's going on.
Johan asked a very important follow-up question.
He knows I'm talking about him.
Johan asked a very important follow-up question. What's the cat been up to lately?
What's the cat been up to lately? It's funny because I was telling the team about this the other day.
Yeah.
Anytime I go to sleep, this guy always wants to get next to me and like lay down next to me while my arms laid out. And he's got this ritual where before he's ready to like go to sleep next to me, he's gotta get pet, and then he's gotta lick my hand for like 3 minutes.
Oh my God.
I don't know why that is.
Very affectionate cat.
Yeah, but he's got to do it. It just has to happen. He's got to pay his respects. He's got to pay his dues. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I was even telling the team, like, I really want to show you guys this, but it would be kind of awkward, like recording myself going to sleep. But
just stream it on our Twitch. Yeah.
There'll be a couple times where he breaks out of the patio and goes into the carport, but other than that, staying out of trouble.
Yeah. Good cat.
Now he's flashing you guys if you didn't.
Oh God. Some cat bathing. All right. Cool.
Oh,
Okay.
I just realized I haven't sent you a defrag map. I'm sending you a defrag map.
No, I have one. Oh wait, shit! It's on the normal playtest build. I think I need to check it. But okay. I think that's it. Was there any other like last minute chat questions or something? I guess there's the Q&A live, but we'll do those next time. Get them in next time. Make sure that you're in the Discord hanging out, asking the questions as they pop into your head. That's the best. But do try to kind of keep them serious. I mean, come on, like ask us stuff that you want to find out about like the game and stuff. So
I think we might have to start having a bit more of a policy of like pinging people responses to like if we have already answered it.
Yeah.
Directly. Because they will get to a point I think where we are just answering the same thing again every time.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, I just had Debug Doug ask me via Steam, "Hi, is multiplayer already implemented?"
Nice. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's talk about that for the next 20 minutes.
All right. So, let's, I guess, switch over to the game after I get these maps real quick. Oh, which one should I do as like a defrag beginner?
Honestly.
Yeah, honestly, it might be better. Should I do defrag World Cup or? Is there a good start? Okay.
Yeah, the 2017 6.
Yeah, cool. All right, do that one. Getting these maps over.
Good World Cup map.
Top right, can we have night vision on maps that are required? We did speak about that, but I think we should just scream at mappers who don't like their maps properly.
Yeah. And fix them when we can.
We have a flashlight. You can always change full view. I think it runs. I don't know. That would suck having to do that, but
I got that in place. Let's talk a bit about what you've been up to, Tom. Let me switch over to
the defrag, I should say, is not me. One of the nice things about Pano is Pano's not closed source. Welcome to the playtest.
Yeah.
Oh, Doc, one thing, defrag, I forgot to say, defrag you need to be on 1080 or lower.
Yeah, no, I am. 1080p.
Yeah, cool.
My full monitor is 1440.
But yeah,
that's weird. Everything's based on 1080p and panorama.
Scaling.
Yeah, scaling.
You need the window scale.
Fucking Windows.
Anyway,
I am on 1080p. So.
Cool.
All right.
We should, if we're going to show stuff off, should we do the profile stuff first? Or the
yes, I was going to start with the get the lobby started with or join the lobby from the drawer and stuff. So, so I guess I'll kind of introduce, but you can talk about it more as we go on. Feel free to kind of jump in and talk about it too. So when you get access to the playtest, you get this lovely pop-up that lets you know, hey, it's still in development. We're gonna wipe, etc. So make sure you read this. You can also don't show again, but make sure you read it. It's explaining what's happening. Once you understand that, this is our main menu, panorama main menu. Dark mode, you can switch to light if you really want to blind yourself, but we'll stick with dark because the background of this gameplay is also the white mode. So, so Tom has been doing excellent work working on the drawer panel. So because, as I said, the multiplayer aspect is a layer over top of everything in the game. We actually have most of that inside of the menu, right? So the main menu here, when I go inside of this, so browsing lobbies can happen from here, right? So from, if you're in-game or in the main menu, you can browse any lobbies that exist here. So we have Tuples lobby, Tuples' lobby. So I can go ahead and just from the menu join it. And now I'm in the lobby with everybody else, and you can see all the individual maps they're playing. In the future, we'll be able to right-click and join people if they're on official maps. That's going to be added very soon too. But yeah, this is also chat. You get to see who's typing, we'll have chat effects in the future as well. We'll see how we want to do that, but most of the time, right, like most of the cosmetics are going to be from, like your profile tab or something. Speaking of, so this is just one tab on this drawer. As you can see, these buttons here. This is the kind of lobby multiplayer tab, right? You can't be in a server and a lobby at the same, so like multiplayer is just going to centralize itself here. If you want to play with anybody, that's kind of where you go. And then the other aspect here is your profile. So we want to be able to show you what you've been up to, right? Like if you've gotten demoted in rank or anything like that. So for the most part, we also care deeply about the statistics that you've been gaining, right? So if I just click on any of these, so for example, just some to-dos, right? We could have like all the individual game modes and their stats. We don't currently, have all of them per game mode, but we will. We will have individual game mode stats here, and you will be able to very quickly see them. We're also going to have where you are kind of like in terms of overall rank for a game mode. We can have like those, like bronze, silver, gold, etc. We have the Weasleys. It's our new tiering system for your own profile. Anyway, yep. We have some interesting materials that we're going to be using for that. And yeah, it's every single mode and all the stats. You can see what level you are, and then you can actually hover over this and see exactly what prestige you are. So we'll actually be having a prestige system for the cosmetic level, for the cosmetic system. So, there is eventually an end, but there's a lot you gotta do to get there. Now, when you prestige, that will ideally reset all of your challenges and everything, just like how Call of Duty did it, right? So the idea there is just kind of like giving you another fresh kind of playthrough for everything. You just have to work towards prestige. So we do have currently six levels of prestige. We can always add more as more people are getting through them. Ideally, it will take you a couple hundred hours to get through all the prestiges.
No.
Of
is above 3,000 hours probably.
Yeah, 3,000. Yeah, actually.
I think it's actually a pretty insane amount to max out.
Yeah.
We will increase the spacing a bit, I think, but
yeah. Like we're going to be tweaking this, and that's something we'll need a lot of people to test with us. And then I'm not actually from New Zealand. Or wait, is that that's not the extra?
Click on your name.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, there we go. And we're just gonna keep going until I find. No, I'm just kidding. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm actually.
This is all just randomly generated nonsense. Like
this is all random. Yeah, random stats just to fill it. The mock data.
Banana.
Yeah. So you can see your units here, which will play effect into the store, right, when we get to that. We don't have that implemented yet. That'll be coming later. You'll be able to see all of your recent activity, what you've been up to. Maybe not the rank points that you got from it because it changes, right? And it might not even be a PB, which doesn't even give you any rank points, right? So it would give you XP, and you can see that. And then you'll be able to filter all of this. So based on mode, based on whether or not it was a PB or a world record, the tier of the maps, you can sort by, what was like the highest rank recent stuff that I've done. So a lot of work to be done here to hook up to our website, filtering all of your recent activity based on those. But this is just about you, right? This is about your accomplishments and your stats and everything. So we want to have all of that there. Now keep in mind, the website can go way more in depth than what is currently shown here. So the idea is we're giving a brief overview of things that people want to see, the majority of people want to see, and then you can go to the website and see everything in depth.
I don't think you have Steam overlay enabled, but there's a button next to your name for taking to website. I should pad that a bit more.
Yeah, there is the view on website button right here. Oh, I thought that's the same.
Yeah.
Okay, globe. Okay, so that view on website, you can go, it doesn't show the Steam overlay. You can actually go to our website and try to sign in through Steam, and it'll automatically fill with your account that you're currently on, which is awesome. So you can actually go to our website and see all the stats in depth for your specific account. So so very, very nice stuff there. I don't have 919,000 units. That would be insane.
Yeah.
I'd be able to buy so many cool things. It's just mock data. So we don't really actually have tricksurf cow horse in here yet. But we do have PK Trojan hands. So I'll be playing. No, I'm just kidding. So a lot of fun stats to show just at a quick glance, so that you can see and the idea again, we want to centralize the idea of multiple modes, right? A lot of people are going to be coming in for bhop or for surf or something that they've been familiar with, but then they see the rest of the game and what we have to offer. It's going to be really nice. So yeah, really looking forward to just people like getting their surf and their b-hop up, but then also being like, oh, maybe I guess I can try a little bit of rocket jump or a little bit of Conc, leading to them exploring the rest of the game. The other tab here, it's coming soon, but this is going to be milestones, challenges, dailies. I mean, we might also use down here, you see this kind of like open space right here, we might also use that for the dailies and more temporal task related stuff. But the events, the kind of long-term milestone sort of things that you can go for will show up here. Oh god, dailies, you don't have to do them. It is just extra tasks to do for extra cosmetic XP. That's it. You don't get anything, like we're not going to have daily cosmetics or whatever, like anything that's going to be cosmetic or long-term effects other than maybe a giant XP boost is going to be more of a longer-term event. Like if we're doing seasonal events or things like that, beating all of the Christmas themed maps for Christmas season or something, right? Like that kind of stuff, like we'll be doing over a course of 2+ weeks, right? At least. So you'll have plenty of time to take whatever you'd like. There's no tracking on whether or not you've done dailies other than just that day. And if you've done it, we're not going to be like, oh, you have a 2%, daily stat or whatever. So the long-term milestones and stuff will be in this tab. We have yet to mock it up. It's kind of coming later too. And then last but not least is kind of credits and changelog kind of information about the game. So all of our credits, that all of the team, right, the people on the team and everyone who's ever contributed. And what's really nice is that we can actually be pretty in depth with like what's here, right? So we can have little bios and little like information here. We can say exactly what people contributed for each of their like names here. And then the changelog.
The other credits.
That is exactly what changed in the last update. How did you nail that?
5 minutes ago, I laughed to myself when I just remembered. Oh wait, that's what's on the changelog right now.
Test set, sets, Etsy, tasters, tasset. I love it. It just gets more and more drunk as it goes on. And then, yeah, just obviously a little blurb at top, just thanking the community because you guys are awesome. We can't thank literally everybody in this tab, but, this is made because of you.
More contributors, but,
yeah. This list, by the way, is not final. We'll be, we'll be adding more people to the team and stuff like that. So yeah, there will be also, I think
we have like 100 contributors that just aren't on there yet.
Yeah,
I literally just need to go through and add them to a Google Sheet.
Yeah. We will also try to credit as many of the people that have donated to us as possible, just in the above the contributors and stuff like that, because they're just better people. No, they're just above the contributors. But yeah, so still kind of work in progress as we flesh out the information here. But a lot of this was just kind of being put in place so that you can kind of see what's going on. So yeah, very cool. And then yeah, the things down here. I mean, I don't really know if we should link our GitHub. I think like the other links are probably more important, like our Discord.
Oh yeah, we
more
can change it up. Yeah.
But yeah, like you can see our main site, our Discord, our forums, our Twitter.
Issues. I'm pretty sure it takes you to our issues. You can report
No, it just brings you to the game repo. But yeah, that is the GitHub is where you can and what we recommend reporting bugs. But you can also do it inside of our
the GitHub for the
Discord. But yeah, you can also click on your profile and it'll jump right to it. The tab right here didn't change, but that's okay. Yeah.
Shit.
Bug. Already found a bug. All right, we're reverting it. It's just clearly broken. Not ready at all. Just kidding. So yeah, so very, very just all-encompassing UI here. Has to be, if people don't care, that's the other thing about like we didn't want to incorporate, if I go to my map selector here, we didn't want to incorporate like multiplayer stuff into this map selector because people might not even give a shit about playing with other people. They just want to play their Conc maps or something, right? Like just leave me alone. But yeah, so map selector, I guess I'll just quickly go over it. You have every single map you've ever wanted in your life. You can change filters. You can filter by just Conc maps if you're a weirdo like me, or just Conc and Ahop maps if you're also a weirdo like me. But yeah, You can filter by a range of tiers and sort by things like alphabetically or date created, etc. You can filter by things that you've completed or things that you've never completed, or just default both. And you can also search. So if I search for Omnific, there it is. So yeah, we have a lot of work to do still, but this is honestly some of the best, like, this is the most important UI we have in the game.
Map selector I'm so chuffed with map selector.
Also,
the work in terms of like caching and actually getting
So
like work requests so quickly is so nice.
yeah. And yeah, and it's still not done. We still have a bit of work to do with searching in particular. We have to be able to kind of debounce when you are typing or changing the filters to automatically search for that. Because right now people don't realize that they have to hit update or enter in order to actually search. We probably should have named that search actually. But anyway, yeah, there's like a step to it. We're going to automatically search because right now it automatically filters, but it's based on the info you have already. But we're also going to reach
a panorama equivalent of Angular State Store.
Yeah, there probably is. Yeah, we can add something like that. Just little timers that look at like key bounces and like maybe sending an event in like 5 seconds if it doesn't get any more within a time window or something. Yeah, we could do that. And then another thing, playlists. I kind of hinted at it with the questions and answers before. We are going to have map playlists where you can chain together as many maps from as many game modes as you want. Well, we could have pre-curated ones like all of the tier 1 bunny hop maps or something like that, and gauntlets. So the Momentum gauntlet, as we're going to be doing it, there will be a b-hop gauntlet. There could be any game mode gauntlet. Honestly, there will also be a Momentum gauntlet, which will be very fun to see people speedrun. I'm really excited. I might even try to do it if I don't have too many dev responsibilities on my plate. So we'll see. All tier 1 b-hop speedrun.
All tier 1 like is honestly really fun.
Yeah, just get through all the, get a nice it's like the taste of b-hop playlist or something.
I think
right?
a lot of people, like, I personally really prefer just playing like a bunch of like easy maps and trying to do them fast, like in a row, something like that.
Yeah,
is
giving more of a length to, because right now we're focusing on individual levels, but giving it more of a, like, you string together all the individual levels that you can just very quickly go through a bunch of different maps, almost like a mini campaign sort of. But the other thing I'll note is I am on my debug build. So if it looks kind of sluggish, that's why. It does not, like, if I scroll down here, it kind of goes a little slow. That is because it is running the debug code of the game. It does not perform like this. It performs much better in release. But yeah, you can click and download literally any map. Literally any map you want. Click it and download it. It's very nice. So it's all integrated. If you really like a map, you can add it to favorites. If not, whatever. It's up to you. All right, so that's the map selector. We do not currently have our inventory/store pages in place yet, so I'm just going to kind of click over and skip through them. But what we do have is something very, very important as well, probably our second most, if not the first most, because technically the map selector gets locked if you have absolutely no experience with the game. When you boot up Momentum, because we're going to be a free-to-play game, you might not know what the fuck is going on or what game mode is what or anything. So what we actually want to do is the learn section. This is a section that breaks down each game mode into mechanics that you can repeatedly play and learn through gameplay and not just watching something. This is basically the one-stop shop for learning about Momentum and its supported modes. Our campaign will also have a tutorial, but it'll be more streamlined. It'll teach you kind of the basics up to getting to like the maps and like how to play the maps, and through gameplay you'll learn that way. But if you care about air pogoing or, I don't know, speed shots or something like that, you can learn at different tier levels here and just have repeatable gameplay that you can just grind out and get better at over time. So yeah, it is an early testing phase with each mode's maps differing levels of completion. So this is kind of a preview at what's coming. I guess this pop-up's more for you guys, but expect some jank is kind of just the motto of this game, as we're in very early. No, not very early. We're in alpha, but yeah.
You're on
so
the version as well, so you can...
Oh yes, I am rebased on 4 different branches. So I think the only one that's currently implemented is Sticky Jump. So yeah, are the initial ones in here too, or Like, which can I hit the buttons of
These
any
should
of these?
work, yeah, these should
Okay.
work.
So just kind of explaining here, right? So single
Oh,
sticky,
pre-fire, right.
double sticky, strafing right after sticking, strafing left, standing pre-fires, edge walk pre-fires, pogoing in place with, advanced steps on how to do it in text, and then also going in game and performing it. We'll also have replays that you can watch and see key inputs and slow it down, and like very, very in-depth learning, because we want people to be able to become masters of these modes, and you got to start somewhere, right? So yeah, pogo and moving, right? Air doubling, we start to, intermediate, more advanced stuff, down air without a wall.
These
So
are
like
hard.
fucking
Like,
hard.
intermediate is hard.
Yeah. So if I go ahead and hit practice, it'll load up the Momentum Mod training for sticky jump. Hit an assert because of the fucking shotgun, I think. Classic assert. Anyway, get into the map. Doesn't have a loading screen, but you will very quickly find that. Did I hit the doubles or? Oh, there's a. That's right. Hold on. What is it? Mom Bop. Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah, let me do that.
don't know.
Yeah, not yet. That's not in yet. Okay. So yeah. So wait, did I do the double? I think I'm at the double right now.
No, this is a single. You just have to be good.
Oh my god, really? Okay, hold on.
Yeah, Hex is evil.
All right, so yeah, single. Oh, I'm a god. So anyway,
Yeah.
this is teaching you how to shoot a sticky on the ground, jump and crouch, and you make it all the way up. Again, a lot of these learn sections are going to have to be very precise. If we make them too forgiving, well, then again, we can also ramp it up. So we could have like beginners single sticky, and then intermediate single sticky, where it's like this, where it's like, all right, now combine like crouching and stuff with it. But yeah, so the idea is once you complete each section, this mini or in-game version of this, maybe when you hit tab, pops up, and then you can go and it'll automatically teleport you to the next. So this is now the double sticky. So learning sticky jump with chat, getting all the way. Oh fuck! I wasn't on top of it fully. All right, so yeah, you want to stand still and get both of these stickies, like I think like right under you, and I think that's it. Yeah, overshot it. Let's go. So yeah, how many of these are hooked up? Are all of these hooked up?
Yeah, these will work.
Holy
I think
shit.
one of them's broken, like the crouch profile or something, but
Okay.
should work.
Well, I won't do all of it. I want to leave that
it
for
gets
people to.
hard first.
Yeah.
You'll struggle on like the fifth one. Like.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is all like very early
Oh shit.
work on this. Obviously, our basic goal for here is to get maps in game that we can play test a bunch with new players and just iterate constantly. So
Oh wait, no, I needed it.
we want a shit ton of feedback from people, especially if you're totally new to the mode. We want to hear from people. Like, this is not hard work.
What am I doing wrong?
This is not hard.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, fucking.
So literally, like standing pre-fire, you'll struggle with the fifth one.
I should have read the guide. Goddamn.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's still very work in progress.
Yeah.
Like, the UI needs a bunch of work. We need to do lots of technical stuff in the background.
progress checking as well. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
So when you complete each of these will be marked. You'll have like progress through it, so you can see each of the modes. We'll probably want some sort of counter, maybe.
Pogo in place is really fucking annoying. It's like a minute long or something.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Green box advance.
Oh my god, house beta.
Yeah. So. Oh, let's try it. Horizontal air pogo to vertical air pogo without a wall. All right, I got this. Let's do it.
Oh no.
Okay, no, I'm just kidding.
Fuck
So
me, that's hard.
yeah, that's ridiculous. Anyway, I'll get better over time, but
this
ideally,
is like what we're going for with the learn section is we're not just teaching the baby strats, but we are including stuff for like every level of every mode. So it's something where you can just go in and practice like difficult stuff. And I mean, this advanced stuff is like there's a
That's tier
relatively
6.
small number of people that can do that
is tier
shit.
6.
Like
Nice,
it's
yeah.
really tough.
yeah.
But that's the idea with the learn mode. It's not something where you have to go in and like complete everything to like play a map. Like you want to like if you can do the beginner stuff, like you're gonna be fine doing like some tier 1s and tier 2s.
Yeah.
But I think we definitely do want to make it like less intimidating and like dudes a lot to like.
It's like too low. Oh, did it. Easy. I'm an intermediate sticky jumper. Let's go. Anyway, yeah, very, very fun. And again, very repeatable. And ideally, what we can do is implement a system where we maybe have some dynamic obstacles or something to where it could randomize. But the idea is that you complete the same idea of like, oh, single layer sticky or single layer sticky with obstacle or something. So like things like that where you can still repeat it and it won't get the exact same every single time if possible, where possible. We'll look into that. So that's not super mundane, but the idea is that you're practicing this. And then, yeah, if I were to hit restart, my restart bind here, I go right back to the start of the current mode.
System, which is really nice.
Yeah. So things like that being formalized in the game properly. Yeah. You may also notice that the version has changed to be the top right. Man, I'm good at air pogo. Look, yeah. Anyway, yeah, the version's up in the top right now, mainly because it makes sense to be with the other information that gets shown. So, yeah, cool. Okay. Yeah.
Just to say, every map's at a sort of different level of completion right now. In the sticky jump, we're pretty much ready to get in and test.
Yes.
Ahop is waiting on a thing on Rio that then Ninja needs to do some stuff. Really good progress. Max working on Rocket Jump and Conc and Defrag. I lose track.
We could give out rewards for completing each of them, but the problem becomes if we ever add anything. Ideally, I mean, at 1.0, it'll be pretty much fleshed out for every mechanic that could arise. But that is a good point. We could try to give some sort of reward. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe some cosmetic. I don't know, though, how that'll work, because it'll be like... Maybe it'll be some free, but like UI locked cosmetic. Because our cosmetic's going to be mainly using the store to unlock. And we don't really validate. I mean, yeah, whatever. If people cheat to get through the learn section, then the only person you're really cheating is yourself. But yeah, we could do something like that, where you get like a cosmetic for beating each of the modes.
But also one thing we'll have is we're going to have a little thing at the bottom where we recommend maps on the selector.
Yeah.
I think it's the plan. So
yes, down here.
If you can do a thing, then you might be like, oh, I can do this now. I'm going to go and play this map, and then you play that map and you complete it. And
yes. So the idea is that each of these are technically mechanics that have a core thing that you're doing or learning. Now, obviously, strafing left and right is it could be in every map. So things like that might not really do it. But the things like pogo and wall pogo, that stuff could be a map tag. And then we just look at, intermediate right wall pogo. We look at maps with wall pogo that are an intermediate tier. Right, so we'd get like tier like 2 through 4, and then like the advanced stuff, like down airs and stuff. Right, we look at the maps with down air that are could be ranging from hard to. I would assume a tier 1 map doesn't have a down air with a wall. But the idea is that we would be suggesting maps for you to go and then immediately like click on, and it'll open the map selector to that map and play. And you can check it out. So. That's kind of the cohesion there. You learn and you can apply. So learn, and then this part of the learn, you go and practice. And then this part that we're going to implement down here after the guide, it's not actually in place yet, will be the apply, like where to apply. And now obviously, everything doesn't really have that. Pogoing, like pogoing in place is more of just a mechanic to learn in general. So like things in general, like that are just like they apply to every map technically, right? You can pogo anywhere. That will be not really recommending any maps. So just keep that in mind as a chunky guide in its place anyway. So.
Yeah, that guy's big.
Yeah.
Learn section we're gonna have loads of more UI and stuff.
Yeah,
it's gonna be really fun to work on. This is like something. Yeah. We get this in place and we can iterate fast on.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So last.
We're coming up on 3 hours.
Yes. Last but not least.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, 2 hours and 40 minutes. Yeah. Okay. So last but not least, we did also get. Wait, hold on. Am I getting?
We got end of run still.
Yes. Right on. So end of run. When you beat. Oh yeah, that's right. The
graph broke.
And it broke again. And there it is. Oh, but it's also still fucked up.
Wait. Wait.
It
Is
did-
that, like system dependent? Oh shit! That might be just because you're trying it.
Yeah, I'm
let me
in
check if I can-
1080p. That's fine though. That's something that we can work on. Wait, it's like inverted. Oh yeah, no, that's like what's.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no.
yeah, the graph sometimes doesn't even show. Okay. Anyway,
Show when those runs are when it's the mock data is when you didn't get a PB. So we don't show
Gotcha.
the graph and all that stuff if you don't have a PB.
Gotcha. That's right. That's right. Oh, okay. That's why it doesn't show. Okay. So yeah, this is the end of run panel. Very scuffed at this resolution, it looks like. So we'll be fixing that. It's just resolution dependency stuff. But the idea is that you get to get a nice quick overview on where exactly your time save was and your time loss was. So live split is a very big inspiration for us. We obviously don't want to make people download live split to play our game and get information. So we want to have that kind of information embedded in the game where possible. So ignoring the graph lines that are kind of all over the place right now, the idea is that very quickly, this is kind of what you can see at the comparisons level, the HUD comparisons level, where you have the stage and the track and the stage that you're at, and the time that you got and the time save or loss that you got. And it's color coded, but also, the numbers are there too. So you can see exactly how much gain or loss you're at.
Yeah, click on a thing on the graph and it will take you to like the thingy.
Exactly.
Press tab a couple times, it'll generate like a longer one where
Yeah.
it's really nice to have.
There we go, yeah.
Like scroll you around and
Yeah.
Gold splits when?
yeah.
So gold
So
splits, yeah,
you-
will also be coming.
Yeah,
in the
you
future.
can sort of see like I don't know what the fuck's going on with the scale. Flame,
Yeah.
Valve, and UI Canvas API because it sucks. It fucking sucks.
No,
I
we
think it
just-
actually is an engine bug.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, so yeah, you can click on individuals.
Also, shout out to Humongous Nancy.
Yes, humongous Nancy got a humongous time that we're comparing against, but we demolished it by 24 seconds. So yeah, you get to see the person or run in particular that you're comparing against. That's actually going to move up to this header in the future, because ideally this is something that you can actually go and view and compare two runs against each other, and see like your PB versus somebody else's time and where exactly they gain time over you before you even like race or compare in the comparison HUD. You can view that comparison beforehand. And then you don't have to do a run to only compare, right? We want to be able to allow you to compare at your own cost there, or your own time there.
Is it doing the level animations?
Yes. So yeah, well, I'm working my way down. So once you get the replay right, you can watch a replay or restart the map, and then this back arrow will bring you back to the leaderboards. Also, I'm getting has fill parent flow, but is it not? Okay, whatever.
One of those.
Yeah.
See it.
Ckrow UI.
So,
Yeah. So you can compare against the overall run. So you have run global, like run totals, and then you have individual zones. So the checkpoints, the stages, etc. You can see how much time you spent on each of them.
In the UI code.
Yeah. And and so you can scroll this way for this guy, and then you can also click and it'll scroll you to that one, and show you it right here. It's
When I was
very
working on
hard.
this, the more and more time I spent thinking about it, the more I realized that like the long list of numbers isn't really that informative unless you have a graph.
Yeah.
Like, it's I don't know. Yeah, the
Yeah.
graph just became more and more useful. Like
Yeah.
uh,
It's a very nice way to visualize, because where it approaches red or goes up at all is where you're losing time, right? So it's a very nice way to be like, oh shit, like in the middle of the run, I just lost or at the beginning of my run here, I kept losing time, versus something that just goes steadily down, right?
Yeah.
So very nice visualization. If you've never speed ran before, right? You never used live split in the graph and stuff like that, then yeah. So yeah, and then I guess that's all the comparison stuff. And then down here is the leveling stuff. So obviously every run that you do, you will get some XP. It might not necessarily be a PB, right? But the important thing is that you do get rewarded for what you do there. So we can have the XP show, and I'll just go ahead and do that. And you can see the XP gain. It goes between levels if you get multiple levels from one run.
Oh my god, the timing's so scuffed.
Yeah.
I need to work on the timing.
And so it'll zoom across, be very nicely animated, just to show you how much that you've gained there. And yeah, so yeah, you can see your run. I guess this doesn't have a comparison, or this isn't a PB?
This isn't a PB.
Oh.
I might change the color a bit, but yeah, if there's no PB, we don't have like an immediate comparison, and also we don't want like intimidate people with a big graph of first run they do.
Well, it would be that's right.
Against, like, world record, and like
you
just be like, oh, this is where you lost time.
Yeah. We could compare against the bottom of the leaderboard. Make people feel really good, unless they are the bottom of the leaderboard.
I think I'll probably work on the styling for when it's like a non-PB run.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know. I once we get C++ stuff hooked up to this, I'll come back to this and work on styling a bit more.
Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah. So it's
really annoying that the graph isn't working properly. It's a resolution issue where the canvas stuff, the lines and the shading they're twice the size on both axes.
Yeah. I'm in 1080p, so I don't know if that affects anything. Like,
it's some really weird stuff with canvas that we'll need to test, like the two of us.
Okay.
Because for me, I have to like multiply some values by 2. It's funky.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. Well, then, as we're approaching 3 hours, last but not least, let me go.
My map on the map I'm on.
Do you have? I'm on the World Cup.
World Cup, yeah. World Cup.
Go there. I got that.
And then play bbbell soundtrack on. So this isn't work I've been doing. This is by PinkFluffyAnt, who's a Defrag player. I think he does diabolical stuff and did well, I can't remember. He's done bits of similar stuff with Seagaz and Snaps for other games before, which is awesome. And he got in touch, I think, via Crazy Owl, because I said something on stream about how it would be really cool if someone wanted to work on this. And yeah, one of the nice things about Panorama is our UI is essentially open source. So people can work on stuff like this. We had to get various like API methods and stuff. Nice gun.
Oh my god, this is actually really nice. Oh my god, it's so nice to know like where to strafe.
Yeah, but this is a solid, it seems, implementation of Seagaz.
Yeah.
Done by PinkFluffyAnt, which is all in JavaScript as well, which is quite funny. We might move it to C++. Snaps are coming as well.
Yes.
Just a bit more work. This has been, PinkFluffyAnt has been working on this for, I think, like the last couple of weeks and has already got this working. The code is really clean, really nice, well organized. So yeah, we're really happy to have it. And
oh shit, I missed the jump. I keep forgetting that it's buffered jumping. So we have straight up buffered jumping, so you can press space at any time in the air and it'll jump.
But also we have haste and slick and teleports coming soon.
Yes.
Which essentially means we should soon be able to get defrag maps on the map selector. So there'll only be strafe maps. We don't have weapons yet. They're coming. But we are really excited to get the start of Defrag on the map selector playable. And I think Seagaz is something really, really important because it's snaps as well. We do, we're fully doing the snap based code.
What is snaps?
Oh god, switch to are you in mapping mode?
Yes.
Yeah, switch to MomDF physics, I think one.
Yeah, and then restart the map.
Yeah. No, it should. I think it changes immediately. Just try it. No,
whatever.
Yeah, it pulls it per frame and then it switches.
My game freezes at 61% when loading this map. That's something.
It's 61% is where you load all the brush collision data. So
okay, we're gonna have to scream at map.
Okay.
No, that's just for big maps. That's always stuff like that.
But it straight up is not responding. But it's also the debug build, so who knows if in release it's instant.
Yeah,
it's just working its way
loading
through.
all the yeah.
I think is a really interesting thing for us because for me as a UI and UX person, it's kind of horrible because it's a big bar that spans your whole screen. At the same time, Defrag people really like it and are used to it.
Oh fuck!
So,
I don't even know how to do CPMA. I need a Defrag learn section over here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is the green where I want my cursor to be?
Oh, I'm fucking awful at this.
I'm terrible. Oh fuck!
But it's actually really nice to have actually.
Yes.
To see you guys learn.
Yes. So for those of you who are like, what the fuck is this line? CGAS is a HUD that lets you know the most optimum strafe to use for defrag. It's basically a strafe trainer of sorts, but it makes defrag much more bearable. It is actually going to be basically part of the mode for us. It is going to be basically always on. Whoa, assert. What the fuck was that? It was L Studio? What? Okay, well, we'll look at that in the future, but
Probably the view model.
yeah, probably the double view model we got going on. Yeah, so it's a very fun mode. I have not done enough defrag, as very probably evidenced by my epic strafes I'm doing right now. Like,
well, just to say, so CGAS is one part of strafe.
Yes.
For
yeah.
defrag. The other snaps, which is a work in progress right now, that PinkFluffy is working on at the moment.
Yeah.
So, in a way, CGAS is kind of intuitive. Like, you can kind of learn the angles pretty well. And CGAS, you don't have to be right on the green line, I don't believe.
Yeah.
However, snaps are really fucking complicated. Snaps are really complicated.
Yeah.
And so getting defrag and snaps in getting CGAS and snaps in really matters, because
can I spec someone good? No.
Yeah, I think
no, there's nobody that's good. Yeah, I can spectate Ninja. Yeah.
But actually, I'm watching.
The classic.
You look at the line.
Oh wait, hold on.
Not quite on the green.
Yeah. It's
maybe because you're in the wrong physics mode.
No, it's interptics. It's interptics. Interptics are the bane of our existence. I can't close console.
The code is currently assuming that you're in the second mode. Oh, great.
That's right. This is the old spec HUD, so I think I might have soft logged my game, but we'll see.
I actually just restarted with the exact same thing. Restart my game.
But yeah, so you can see pretty easily here. So we do have spectating. So anybody that was asking about multiplayer, there's full spectating. You can see people's inputs, bottom right of the screen. You can see how they're doing stuff. You can see a spec list when you're playing. You can also turn that off if you're, if you get nerves, people watching you. Yeah.
That poor Speedo.
Oh, I hit a CGAS.
Oh yeah, that's speedometer. Yeah.
Oh, I just tried to set margin left and not a number.
I don't know. I think it's when we're updating, because we're updating the ghost in the middle of the frame. So I think render and the server aren't synchronized or something, so the gain just very quickly gets diminished or something.
Yeah,
something like that.
Nude Charon is really good as a defrag map, which we've got as well. That's actually a really good.
No, I only downloaded this map.
Okay,
and it's also, we're hitting the 3-hour mark, so this is probably where we'll be.
Yeah.
This is where we'll be ending it. We'll have a lot more defrag in the next Q&A. You might even see some in some map or panorama work.
Well, hopefully we'll have them on map selector by then.
Yeah.
We'll actually have maps again. Yeah, I think.
Oh shit! Are ghosts actually properly representing the model now? They're not floating 55 units in the air. I just noticed that everybody else's ghosts are actually hitting the ground. So that's part of the movement refactor. Let's go. I guess.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, hold on. There was some please play conks, so I gotta do it. I gotta go play conk. So I'm gonna go play some conk real quick, 3 minutes. Let's play some conk school, which is actually yeah. Obviously, I'm not gonna. Speed is too long. Could play an INF, but oh yeah, I'll need to turn that off.
Think me and Deathrun are gonna take off now.
Yep, absolutely.
Hot waiting.
Okay.
Oh fuck me! Well, how can we get to be so much?
I'll leave the camera on, I guess.
Oh wait, no, they do levitate in the air. Okay, never mind. So this is Conc School. This is it's pretty nice. I already know how to play it. I've been through Conc School, but you know, if you need to study, there's some blackboards with the instructions here.
Actually on the atlas.
Oh shit! I did not time that right.
Nice.
But yeah, this is Conc. This is from Team Fortress Classic. It's honestly the best mode ever made.
Yeah.
Besides Ahop. I'm just kidding. I love all modes equally.
Oh, this one's actually hard.
Yeah.
Oh, you do it like that? No, okay,
Yeah.
that's easy then. Never mind.
Yeah. The one where it's on the back, yeah, is a little rough. It's too early. I need to get my Conc timings. Fuck. Well, you know, I'm not gonna be able to graduate from Conc School on stream, I guess. The triple still fucking kills me. Oh god damn.
But yeah, hopefully next month we'll have, you know, end of run stuff in, and
yeah.
Also, one thing we've not shown off today is BLT spec code and replay stuff.
Yes.
Which is in review right now, so that's really close to being in as well. So basically all of our 091 stuff is really close to finish right now. And some of us getting our teeth stuck into 092.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be seeing 091 pretty soon, and we'll be seeing Defrag on that selector pretty soon.
Yeah.
Which is going to be amazing.
Wait, no, what am I doing? Why am I jumping forward into it? There we go.
Yeah, why are you?
Oh, I was out of the radius. Fuck. Oh, I wasn't under the basically invisible glass. We need better glass textures. Fuck. All right, nice. Throw it there. I promise I'm good. I've done this. My PB is like 5 minutes, but it doesn't show up because I don't have the replay. All right, whatever.
Shot.
There we go. Jesus. All right. Some water conks.
Yeah, what are the water conks on this map? They're rubbish.
Yeah. Oh, I keep missing. Oh, it's a much smaller.
I got
hole.
to go to bed in a minute. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know, right?
I've been out for
bedtime
20 hours or so.
Yeah.
Pretty tired. Spent all afternoon. Well, I was gonna say trying to learn Nest, but no, I've just been playing Elden Ring.
Yeah. Good old Elden Ring.
What
oh, that wasn't far enough.
Game.
Whatever.
Like, our game's pretty good. I mean, it's pretty good, but
Elden Ring, on the other hand, let me tell you,
is quite something.
Oh, I didn't wait long enough, or I didn't throw it early enough. That's it.
Also been chatting about Conc movement quite a bit lately. Let me talking about stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, now with movement refactor cleared up.
Yeah, we're gonna be tweaking Conc movement to feel as good as it can be. So we'll be looking at like what players don't like and things like that.
Yesterday afternoon, I was streaming Conc in voice, and Mac was just screaming at me about pre-throwing like that. He's getting so annoyed with me for doing exactly what you're doing.
Oh shit! Hold on. Do you throw just 2 in the corner or something?
I just chuck it like a bit to your like lower right. You do not need to do that.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Oh fuck!
I just want bug bait Conc so badly.
Yeah, bug bait Conc will be very, very nice.
Really fun.
God fucking damn it! If only somebody did the key on there. All right, so I don't wait. Hold on. Throw. Second beep. Throw. Crouch.
You
jump.
sit on it like an egg and crouch. There we go.
No, I always get that when I do that. Maybe I'm not right on top of it.
Just throw them quick as you fucking can. Oh, and actually to go high, I think you don't want to throw them super quick.
That might have gotten it. No, fuck. The triple's the hardest part. I always get caught up on it. Oh, I did a weird jump there.
Lay the third Conc. Step back. What does Hex know?
Just juggle? Okay, okay, fine.
You got the vertical speeder one?
No, yeah, I don't.
Vertical speeder are incredibly useful for cards.
Ah, fuck. That should be it. Fuck off! I threw it too early. That should be it. I was like right on top of that. Come on! Do I have to look up there? Okay. No, my game crashed. Ah! Okay, that's where we'll end it. We're 5 minutes over.
No.
Is anybody streaming Momentum or going to stream Momentum? No. So that means we have to raid somebody. I just rage quit. Yeah, I hit my quit buy-in, but no, I crashed actually. Oh, Crazy Al's doing Diabolical.
We could raid Al, but I mean...
He said to play Defrag and then didn't watch me play Defrag.
He just fucked off.
Yeah, because you were toxic to him. We can't do that.
We could, I mean...
Shit. I would if I had a code. Murky's doing surf, I think. I could read them. Yeah. All right, let's do that. Let's do that. All right, cool. Raid message, as always. Please play Conc Smile. You can use any smile emoji you'd like. You can use as many quantities of smiles as well. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and raid. Thank you all so much for watching. Go and enjoy some Surf by Marky. And yeah, if you got any questions, please, !Discord. You know, join our Discord. Oh, that needs to be updated. We got discord.gg/Momentum Mod, all one word, for that. Yeah. Play Rocket Jump instead. Yeah, if only. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Go and enjoy Murky. Until next time, hopefully we'll start getting more streams going of more UI dev and stuff. And even web dev, that could be streamed too. But yeah. All right. Take care.
Hey, everyone.
See you all next time.